Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me.
A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharp.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to the 1152nd edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Friday, April the 11th of 2025. It is good to have all of you in today. Hang on a second. Oh, man, I thought I had all that. Dude, I thought I had all that taken care of. Pardon me. Sometimes kratom really does not taste good. Sometimes it absolutely does not taste good. I do apologize. There we go. Now we're good. We are streaming live to multiple platforms: Facebook, X, MGTOW.tv, 3 YouTube channels, as well as Rumble. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharp Reality Live a part of your daily routine. I've got a great show. Got a great show in store for you guys. Today. Obviously. What the hell? Hang on, guys. Jesus, boy, we are off to a rough start. Obviously, the story of the week, probably turning out to be the story of the year, to be honest with you, of course, is the murder of Austin Metcalf at the hands of Karmelo Anthony. Austin Metcalf is a white boy. Karmelo Anthony is a black boy. We've got all sorts of things to get into. By the way, shout out to King Life. Who has, of course. Here we go. I always get the sound wrong. Let's try that again. Shout out to King Life. There we go. Shout out to King Life. He has supplied me with a couple of things. So he gave me access to this Charleston White video that we are going to react to. He also got a hold of the affidavit, the police report that sort of details what happened. And again, this is an affidavit. This is all under oath, and I think that will definitely give us a lot more insight as to what was really going on. But first, let me shout out my guys in the chat. Dre Raven is in the house. Luke Perry was the first to break the tape. Good to see you in here. MAR Productions says hi. MAR Productions. I don't think I've ever seen MAR Productions in here before. And normally when I get someone in here for the first time and they just say hi or whatever the case may be, my spidey senses start to tingle a little bit. Listen. Most of the time, I'm about 50-50, right? You guys know me. I've got PTSD. Actually, PTSD, post-traumatic stress trolls. You guys know that I've been trolled into oblivion, so I'm very, very good at spotting them very, very early, even when they don't start trolling. Like, remember the guy from 2 days ago? He came in here and just put an ellipsis in the chat. Nailed it. I knew he was a fucking troll. He never pulled up, etc., etc. Jerry Evans says, smash the like button, gang, absolutely. King Life says, no lie, if YouTube ever lets people use GIFs, the amount of insane GIFs I've been waiting to use back in the DS website days, I used to have a folder of GIFs to unleash. Yeah, I do miss those GIFs. But again, the reason why I don't stream live to Sharp Stream anymore is because I can do that now on Rumble. So, Modern Life Dating is in the house. He says, okay, Donovan, I am ready to race bait today. Yeah, this entire case happens to be, we'll get into all that later. The only race baiting that is happening is by niggas. Niggas want to make this a racial discussion, but this is clearly a culture discussion, as Mr. White will verify a little bit later. Jerry Raven says, I missed the dancing gifts and the spoon heating. Yes, the Dave Chappelle. You know, it's interesting. I actually trimmed up my hair, did my hairline, tightened up the hairline. In the mirror, it actually didn't really look like I did that good a job, but it looks like my hairline is on point as usual. Let's see here. King Life is in the house. AI out here giving Will Smith PTSD. Absolutely. MLD, Modern Life Dating says, wait a minute. It says, I can't believe people are saying this is self-defense. This has to be a psyop. Yeah, niggas are saying that it's self-defense. People who are, people who are like-minded men, objectional, who are purely objectional, believe otherwise. Let's see. Luke Perry says, I didn't finish the Cali West video, but he says he has receipts. Yeah, we're gonna get into the Cali West. Well, we will also get into the Cali West video. And I haven't watched it yet, so I'm gonna watch it for the first time, just like a lot of you guys. And I'll give my take then. Cam Jam is in the house. Good to see you in here. Yeah, King Life says, dudes always say they got receipts and never show it. When I got receipts, I show everything immediately. I don't know what receipts he's talking about. Receipts of what? That Carmelo Anthony is guilty of first-degree murder? Like, what receipts are there? I mean, was there? Did he find a manifesto by Austin Metcalf? Did Austin Metcalf, have some manifesto that said he's going to lure he's going to lure a black kid into the tent only to kick him out? Come on, man. Ain't no receipts. Yeah, Brandon M says receipts he found on Black Twitter. Right. Of course it's receipts. Of course he found the receipts on Black Twitter, right? Ay. I swear to God, black people act like we don't know that black people can use Photoshop too. Dude, I don't give a fuck about Black Twitter. I call it nigga Twitter. I call it nigga Twitter. I call it the nigga tube. I call it nigga whatever. It's just all niggas over there. Yep, there you go. Yep, there of course is the fabled niggadar. There is the niggadar. Listen, it could be radar, could be sonar. Either way, it's clear. Right now it's clear. Wait a minute. I don't have any niggas in the chat yet. No niggas in the chat yet. Skinny to Swell says, it sounds like I'm in the early 2000s again. Absolutely. Janik L'Italian says, even in y'all, all the way from Thailand. Wickless Cage says, you don't live near Dallas. You don't understand the daily threats. I'm not really sure what threats you're talking about, Wickless Cage. What threats are you talking about, Wickless Cage? Alex Custon says, Photoshop for niggas. Yeah, right, exactly. But they don't call it Photoshop. They call it nigga shop. That's what it is. Jonathan D. Cruz says, you think they'll drop it to second degree? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So we are going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of that. Now, I'm actually going to ask you guys. Because here's the thing, guys. I am wondering whether I should react to the Charleston White video first, or should we take a look at the arrest report and then react to the Charleston White video, his appearance on Alex Stein, right? Skinny to Swole says, my nigga senses are tingling. Absolutely. Kyle 2020 says, I can't stand cowards. Passive-aggressive cowards piss me off with a passion that could burn the earth like Skynet. Dude, look, if you're going to disagree, and that's what really pissed me off about Cali West, is that if he said, hey, I disagree and here's why. No, he tried to frame it like he was playing devil's advocate. No, he disagreed and then proceeded. Then he proceeded to give the same, playbook, the same playbook answers that niggas are out here calling receipts. So Jonathan D. Cruz says he's already guaranteed no death penalty or life without parole due to his age. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. My guess is that we'll find out. We'll find all this stuff out We'll find all this stuff out when this does come out. So it looks like you guys mostly want to see this police report. Looks like you guys want to see this police report. I think it's probably a little bit more responsible to look at the police report first, and then we can react to everything, because I think the police report. I think that the police report will probably give us, just a little more context in the way of what really happened out there on that fateful day. So. All right, so this is the police report. Give me 2 seconds here. So let me, of course, Walter's in here trying to cause trouble. Here we are. All right, just want to make sure that this is big enough. So this is the Frisco Police Department police report. The location was at the stadium. I guess Eduardo Cortez was the arresting officer. Looks like Allison Ricci was the arresting officer too. This happened on April 2nd. So April 2nd, incidentally enough, is Rollo Tomasi's birthday. So that's Rollo Tomasi's birthday. Okay, so Karmelo Sincere Anthony. Look, small kid, only 130 pounds. It says ethnic. Does that say? I don't know what. Okay, no, that's just me being. This is me being stupid. I have no idea what that ethnic. When I see ethnic, I'm thinking, does N stand for nigga? Oh, no. Maybe. So his employer, this is probably his former employer name. His former employer's is HEB. I guess he was a cashier. Let's see. His bond. Yeah. It looks like he is being held without bond. Brandon M says can barely see him on the mugshot. Yeah, this is probably a copy. Honestly, this is probably a copy of a copy of a copy. You guys know how that goes. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to read through this. This is according to Officer Eduardo Cortez. It says on April 2nd, 2025, at 1001 hours, which is 10:01 in the morning, Staley School Resource Officer E. Eduardo Cortez heard over the radio dispatch call out a stabbing call at David Kuykendall Stadium. And by the way, a lot of people pronounce this Kirkendall. It's not pronounced Kirkendall, it's Kuykendall. And the reason I can say that with authority is because I've only seen this name one other time. He happened to be a classmate of mine when I lived in Hawaii. Everybody called him Kirkendall. He's like, no, it's Kuykendall. Anyway, that's just me being a grammar Nazi. Anyway, Kuykendall Stadium, FPD call notes indicated that an athlete was stabbed. The suspect was reported as being a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants. I immediately left my office and ran across the Staley Middle School parking lot, I guess, which is right next door, towards the southwest entrance of the stadium. As I entered the stadium, 2 high school-age students informed me that the victim was on the north end of the stadium by the bleachers under a Memorial High School tent. I did not identify these students. Next, I proceeded towards the north end of the stadium, visitor side, on foot. As I got closer to the north end, I could see the Memorial High School tent with multiple individuals under the tent. Once I arrived onto the north side bleachers, an adult male who was on the track pointed out the suspect. I was not able to identify that witness. The individual that was pointed out to me was a black male wearing a gray hooded sweater and dark colored Nike pants. The suspect at this point was on the track on the north end. There was a chain link fence that separated me from the suspect. I gave the suspect instructions to keep his hands up in the air. During that time, the suspect said verbally out loud, "I was protecting myself." Oh, that's interesting. Isn't that interesting? Oh, Brandon M says in Texas, that's how we pronounce it. It's Kirkendall. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I stand corrected. Let's see. It continues. It should be noted that I had not questioned him about the incident when he made that comment. See, he didn't question him when he made that comment. He just went into, it was self-defense. I asked him if he had any weapons, and he said no. Well, gee, I wonder what happened to the knife. If you don't have any weapons, what happened to the knife, right? I instructed the male to continue walking along the fence, which he complied, towards an area where there was an opening in the fence that led off the track. While walking him off the track, the suspect also said, quote, he put his hands on me. I then detained the suspect in handcuffs. And guys, again, just because he says he put his hands on me doesn't mean that Austin Metcalf put his hands on me. So it appears to me that right off the bat, Karmelo Anthony knew that he had just committed a crime. And as soon as the police officer arrived on the scene, he already went into defense mode. I was protecting myself. He put hands on me. He put hands on me, so I stabbed this kid to death. As if that is a reason to stab someone to death. I then detained the suspect in handcuffs, handcuffed behind his back, and had him sit on the ground. Officer Andrea, I think, what is that, Andrea Ricci? Allison A. Ricci, my bad. Officer A. Ricci, here we are, had arrived on the scene at that time. I conducted another pat-down of his person and then searched his person after he gave me consent. No weapons were located. While the suspect sat on the ground, I advised that I had the alleged suspect. The suspect then responds and says, I'm not alleged, I did it. Wow. Holy moly. He says, I am not alleged, I did it. He's letting him know, no, there's no allegedly about it. I stabbed this kid. It continues. Next, Officer Ricci and I walked the suspect to patrol the vehicle, number 2412. This is Officer Ricci's patrol vehicle, which was on the northeast gate of Kirkendall Stadium. As we were walking to the squad car, the suspect was emotional and said he put his hands on me. I told him not to. Got a little bit of a typo there. I did not question the suspect about the incident while he was escorted to the patrol vehicle. I searched his person once again, and I had him sit in the back seat area, driver's side, of patrol vehicle 2412. While the suspect was in the back seat, I noticed fresh blood on his left middle finger. I verbally acknowledged that I saw the blood out loud so that it would be captured on my body-worn camera. Good police work there. It should also be noted that the suspect asked me, quote, is he going to be okay while he was in the back seat? AK says it's self-defense. Free that boy.
Nope.
No, that nigga's going to jail. He's going to prison. It's not self-defense, and you know it. You know it. And listen, if you disagree, AK, bruh, I'm right here. Listen, look. If you want to disagree, that's fine. You are, you're well within your right to disagree. Blah 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 blah. But I'm not going to deal with how can I put this? I'm not going to deal with nigga lawyers. Okay. I'm not going to deal with hood lawyers who are just trying to come in here and troll and get reactions. Okay. Yeah. So listen, if you think that was self-defense, pull up, nigga. Like, let's have it out. But of course, we all know, like Karmelo Anthony, most niggas are cowards. All you guys, you people, and that's exactly what I mean, you people, okay? You people love to talk shit in the chats. You love to talk shit in the chat, but when I give you the opportunity to come and get at your boy, yeah, it's crickets. It's crickets. You niggas almost never, ever, ever want to pull up. So it is what it is. It is what it is. This continues. I then identified the suspect. He provided his name and birth date and date of birth verbally as Karmelo Anthony, black male, with the date of birth, blah, 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 which I ran through FD dispatch. Officer Jay Hancock arrived on the scene and remained with me and the suspect at this point. Karmelo was then checked via a school, I guess that's a database system, whatever, to confirm his identity. The identifying information he provided matched the individual I had in custody, Karmelo Anthony. Next, I was advised by Sergeant Holland to transport the subject to the Frisco PD jail. Officer Hancock and I transported him to the FPD jail. Again, I did not question Karmelo about the incident. Upon arriving at the Frisco jail, Karmelo was escorted into the intake area. FPD jail staff changed him out into jail attire. I remained with the jail staff the entire time. He was changed over. The clothes that Karmelo was wearing was placed in an FPD paper evidence bag. The clothes remained in my possession. It continues from this point on. Upon Karmelo being placed into a jail cell, I continued to keep possession of his clothes. I returned to my patrol car, 2412, along with Officer Hancock, which was in the FPD Sally Port, and placed Karmelo's clothes in the back trunk area. I drove patrol vehicle 2412 out of the Sally Port and parked the squad car. Parked the squad car in the FPD patrol parking area. Karmelo's clothes remained in the trunk area of vehicle 2412. FPD. Blah 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 blah. Okay. This is the supplemental stuff. So this is according to Allison Ricci. This is Allison Ricci. Cephas says that Cephas is he says I feel bad for both sides. Yeah, I do too. I feel bad for Karmelo. I feel bad for his parents, and I feel bad for Austin and his family. Jeff A hashtag TBAS says Donovan is just like a lot of these red pill lames. Oh God, give me a break. Yeah, I'm so totally triggered. I'm so totally triggered. Yeah, see, and anytime we get trolls in here, I always knows it's niggas. Guys, this is the problem. This is the problem with our community. This is the problem with our community, man. Is our community is infiltrated with niggas. It really, really was. Daquan Obama, who is probably also Jamal Obama, says Karmelo was defending himself. Okay, well, listen, you can say what you want. This kid's going to fucking prison, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, say what you want. He's going to prison, whether you guys like it or not. Like, this is, I think somebody said it in the chat. This is an open and shut case. Like, he is absolutely 1,000% going to prison. Yeah, let the niggas in. Let the niggas in. Look, man, look. We got the niggadar. We got the niggadar up here. And apparently we've got niggas in the chat. Love it. Very, very. Damien Orozco says, morning, Donovan. Morning, Don. Here in Reno again at the Tesla Gigafactory. Oh, good for you, man. All right, let's keep going here. So this is according to Allison Ricci. On April the 2nd, 2025 at 10:01, was wearing a full Frisco police uniform and I was operating a fully marked Frisco police vehicle 2412. At about that time, I was dispatched to the report of a stabbing at David Kirkendall Stadium. Frisco police dispatch advised that an athlete had been stabbed. The suspect was described as a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. I responded code 3 from the area of El Dorado Parkway in Frisco. I arrived on the scene at approximately, damn, she got there in 4 minutes. When I arrived on the scene, I approached the track and field area and saw Officer Cortez kneeling next to a black male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and blue sweatpants. Carmelo Anthony, blah, 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 bloody on his left hands. Okay, all right. So this is according to, so this is the arrest report. This is the arrest report. Goatee and short hair, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it looks like this is, pretty much, let's say this is according to Officer Taylor Wetzel, responded to the stabbing. Okay, all right. Yeah, it looks like this is pretty much just, this is Officer Mike Crawford, Jacob Schultz. So yeah, it looks like this is, oh boy, they redacted. Looks like they redacted all this information. So yeah. What this appears to be really is just a report on the accident in terms of what happened. All of the officers pretty much are saying the same thing. Looks like they're all pretty much saying the same thing. I don't really see anything. I don't see anything in here that's damning on either side. This is just the arrest report. King Life with the $2 super chat says, DS, I sent you a knife. Oh my God. I sent you a site on knife self-defense in Texas. Oh, well, let's see what we got here. All right. So King Life is on the job. Dude, I'm gonna tell you what, man. Oh, damn it. King Life is almost like my remote producer at this point. He really kind of is. All right, let's take a look at this. So, all right. So what King Life just sent me, and shout out to him, man. Dude, King Life always comes up in the clutch. So it says, can you pull a knife on someone in self-defense in Texas? Let's read. The Texas self-defense laws are in place to protect citizens defending themselves and others from imminent harm, but they do not permit the use of deadly force in every situation. If you're someone who carries a knife as a way to protect yourself, you may be wondering, can you pull a knife on someone in self-defense in Texas? Under Texas law, the use of deadly force is only allowed in situations where there is an immediate threat of serious injury or death. Well, there you go. There you go. And it's just like I told a guy that called in the other day, the difference between this and the George Zimmerman situation is that George Zimmerman's life was most definitely in trouble. Trayvon Martin would have, if Trayvon Martin didn't kill George Zimmerman, okay, he probably would have permanently injured him badly in some way. Maybe, he could have gotten brain damage. I mean, there's all sorts of things. So George Zimmerman did what he had to do. If a person reasonably believes, the article continues, that they are in danger of being killed, seriously injured, or sexually assaulted, then they may be permitted to use deadly force to protect themselves, including using a knife. Even so, the use of deadly force must be proportionate to the threat. Guys, this is what I was telling Hotep Jesus as well as Hotep Goldstein the other day. Okay? Here's the only way Karmelo Anthony is not guilty. There are a couple of scenarios where he could not be guilty. Okay? Number one, if we find out that Austin Metcalf pulled a knife on Karmelo Anthony and Karmelo Anthony pulled out his knife in self-defense, then guess what? That's an instant acquittal. That is self-defense. Okay? Austin Metcalf has a knife, so guess what? Him having a knife to defend himself, that is commiserate with the threat. But none of the witnesses, none of the police officers, nobody said anything about Austin Metcalf having a knife. Okay? Nobody mentioned anything about that. Otherwise, Karmelo Anthony would have told the cops that. This kid told the police officer, he said, he put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me, so I stabbed him. Wait, what? You're going to stab somebody that puts their hands on you? Right? Even if that's true, even if Austin Metcalf did put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, like it says here, and the word that I was using was commiserate. Even so, right here, the use of deadly force must be proportionate to the threat. This was my contention. Karmelo Anthony's response was not commiserate to what Austin Metcalf allegedly had done to him. Okay? That's what it was. Okay? He put hands on me, so I stabbed him. Let's continue. To avoid finding yourself in a situation where you're facing criminal charges for defending yourself with a knife, it is important to educate yourself on Texas self-defense laws to know when you are and are not allowed to use your knife in self-defense. Texas Penal Code 9.31 states that if a person is justified in using force against another if they believe that it was necessary to protect themselves or others against the use or attempted use of an unlawful force, the use of force may be viewed as necessary if the actor, number one, knew or had reason to believe that the person against whom the force was used unlawfully and with force entered or was attempting to enter the actor's home, vehicle, or place of business or employment. Number two, unlawfully and with force removed or was attempting to remove the actor from the actor's home, vehicle, or place of business or employment, or was committing or attempting to commit aggravated kidnapping, murder, sexual assault, aggravated sexual assault, robbery, or aggravated robbery. Number two, did not provoke the person against whom the force was used. And number three, was not otherwise engaged in criminal activity other than minor traffic offenses at the time the force was used. This means that if you reasonably believe that you or those around you are in danger of being killed or seriously injured, then it is lawful for you to use a knife as a weapon to protect yourself. However, it is important to remember that you are only allowed to use force proportional to the threat posed against you, and that these laws also apply to self-defense against multiple attackers. Now, see, here's what the niggas on nigga Twitter will say. Well, he was ganged up on him, right? That's what Cali West tried to do. They told him to leave. No, Cali, it was one person that told him to leave. All of the witnesses corroborated that story. Stand your ground laws. Okay, so I think that pretty much sums it up right there. So you guys can see right here in black and white, Texas Penal Code 9.31. Guess what? This kid did not, the elements, Karmelo Anthony's actions don't meet any of these elements. They don't meet any of the elements. Steve-O, whom I've never seen before, says, Donovan, can you shoot somebody in Texas if they assault you? I don't know. I don't live in Texas, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't know why you're asking me. Fuck out of here. Let's see. All right, let's tell off some niggas here. Let's see what we got on the niggadar. Let's see what we got on the niggadar today. King Life says this case might get very murky, and I will explain to you exactly how this will get very murky because I have a third scenario in which Karmelo Anthony absolutely could get off and get away with murder. Clotus McEwen says we need to take emotion out of it and just look at the facts. Yeah. I mean, again, this is racial idolatry. Black people can do no wrong. Blah 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 blah. THNZXE says, just watch Donovan. This case will be an episode of Law & Order SVU next season. Yeah, they like to call those ripped from the headlines. Clotus also says, I've had so many of my friends crash out being emotional. That's what this is, man. That's what this is. Dewey says, a 6'1", 225-pound guy is a threat to a 5'9", 130-pound guy. So now we're using somebody's size as well. He was bigger than me. That's why I stabbed him. That's a bad take, D-Weez. That's a bad take. D-Weez. Edward Cross says equal force. I've used this word the entire week. Commiserate. His response was not commiserate. Clotus says I'm 6 foot 280. I'm sure I've threatened a lot of people. Does that mean people can shoot me because I threaten them? Exactly. Come on, man. Brandon M says, I am 6'5", 255. I've been threatened by more 130-pound dudes than dudes my own size. Exactly. See, you see how niggas are in here trying to murky things up? They're trying to just like King Life said. They're trying to muddy the waters. They're trying to muddy the waters. Let's see here. Yep, there it is. Cephas says, bingo, is racial idolatry is a problem. Yes, that's what this is. That's what this is. And this is what Hotep Goldstein was guilty of, was racial idolatry. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to, and again, shout out to King Life. We are now going to react to Charleston. So Charleston White was on primetime with Alex Stein. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. And this dude dropped straight hot fire. He dropped hot fire. He kept it all the way real. We are going to react to that right now. So buckle up, guys. Away we go. And again, let me put the fair use stuff up here. There we go. And oh, by the way, if anybody wants to pull up, I don't have anybody in there now, but if anybody wants to pull up, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you disagree, hashtag pull up. There we go. I'm going to pin that. There it is. So that is pinned in the chat. That is now pinned in the chat. You guys can see. What exactly is going. You guys can see it. So listen, man. Look. I ain't mad at y'all. If you disagree, then pull up and we'll talk about it. It's all good. Yeah, Clotus says he was doing what emotional men do. Trey Ball says they never pull up. Yeah, there we go. Steve-O says size does matter, y'all. 6 feet plus dudes don't understand. It's not a matter of being scared because you're bigger. I'm just evening my playing field. Look at David and Goliath. Let me ask you something, Steve-O. Since you seem to be opinionated about this. Do you think that Karmelo Anthony was justified in stabbing Austin Metcalf in the heart? And this is a yes or no question. This is a yes or no question. Yeah, look at this. Y'all tall motherfuckers got way more reach. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking? So, Steve, you don't know what you're talking about. I thought this was going to be an intelligent disagreement, but now we're talking about guy size. Fuck out of here, man. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Let me put this up here because you guys know, I got to stay away from. There it is. Let's lighten that up a little bit. 195 of you in here watching. I appreciate every one of you. Even the ain't shit niggas who are in here trying to troll me and get under your boy's skin. Appreciate that. Laura Sylvester says self-defense case closed. You're going to be very disappointed, Laura. You're going to be very disappointed, Laura. This nigga's going to jail. I mean, listen, look. I think what you niggas need to really, really understand, you guys need to get this through your thick skull, man. You guys need to get this through your thick skull. This nigga's going to jail. This kid is absolutely going to jail. And no amount of self-defense claims you put in some, obscure, obsolete, dead YouTube channel is not going to change that. This kid is absolutely going to jail. He's going to jail. So, look, you guys can argue with me until you're blue in the face. Guess what, man? He's going to jail. The kid is guilty. Everybody knows it's guilty. And if it were open and shut, then there would be a bond. But there's not. There you go. All right, let's get it.
Austin Metcalf. You see the boy in Frisco stabbed to death by Karmelo Anthony?
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. They trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue.
Okay. So
they're trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue. I've talked about this many, many times before. We as human beings, we are born with an inherent understanding of the difference between right and wrong. I think there's a concept called original sin, right? Nobody has to teach us how to lie, cheat, or steal. No. We know how to sin coming out the womb. We know the difference between right or wrong.
So no, real quick, I like where you're going on this because I'm not even trying to race bait or anything. People are making this about black and white. You see that they're trying to make this kind of like a Trayvon Martin kind of, they're talking about it. But where do you?
It is. Trayvon Martin was an angry black kid that had to be sent to his father because he lacked discipline. Grew up in a home with his single mother.
Oh shit. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, he didn't. Gentlemen. What Charleston White just said there is 1,000% accurate, man. Okay? Gentlemen, there is a reason why the so-called black community is a dumpster fire. Okay? And the reason for that is because it is a matriarchy. A matriarchy is something that is run by women. I've had this discussion with my brother many, many times. Most black people are raised by black women. And as we all know, women do not exercise emotional control. Now, women can get away with being emotional and lashing out because they can't do nearly as much damage as we do, okay? Emotional women can do some harm, okay? Maybe. Emotional men kill people. Emotional men maim people. Emotional men mass murder people, okay? That's what emotional men do, all right? And listen, if you don't believe me, look at our prison system. 85% of black men in prison came from where class? Single mother homes. So these single mothers are raising these boys. Again, women react emotionally and they pass it down to their sons. Guys, I was that kid. Okay? I was that kid. I had a very weak father growing up. He didn't teach me anything about emotional control. My mother was my example. Anytime anything went wrong, she'd fly off the handle. No, I'm not blaming my mistakes on her. Okay, I'm a grown man, and like I said before, original sin. I know the difference between right and wrong. I absolutely do. But it would be disingenuous of me not to, at the very least, acknowledge the fact that being raised mainly by a single mother played some role in my fucked up decision making when I get emotional and violent. Okay? Like I said before, emotional men are dangerous men. Emotional control, gentlemen, this is something that black men are not being taught. Black men are not being taught emotional control. And this is why you end up with Trayvon Martins and Karmelo Anthonys. But let me ask you guys another question. Because even Zur says Karmelo is going to jail, no way around it. I would believe that. But here's a question. Speaking of Minneapolis, George Floyd, that kind of thing. How will the black community respond when Karmelo Anthony is convicted? How do you think the black community is going to respond when Karmelo Anthony is convicted? Think about it. Think about it. Dude, the entire so-called black community celebrated OJ's acquittal. Myself included. I was young, dumb, full of cum. I was stupid. I celebrated OJ's acquittal. Okay? Not long before that, they rioted. They destroyed the city after the Rodney King cop acquittal. Right? So when shit doesn't go right, as far as cops and court is concerned, okay, black people, they like to destroy shit. They like to destroy shit. They destroyed Minneapolis because of George Floyd. But here's the thing. And you won't find this on black Twitter, okay? They destroyed Minneapolis because of George Floyd and not having the whole story. All we saw of George Floyd in that situation were the last 8 or 9 minutes of his life, okay? The last 8 or 9 minutes of his life. We didn't see the part where he actually fought the cops and resisted. Guys, I have the Hard R podcast almost every day here. How many times do we see niggas fighting the cops? You're telling me that all of a sudden St. George Floyd exercised emotional control? No, we didn't see him fighting off the cops or when he resisted, right? We didn't see him trying to pass off counterfeit money at that convenience store. We didn't see the part where he OD'd on fentanyl. We also conveniently forget that this was not George Floyd's first run-in with the cops. You see, a little more than a year before that whole Minneapolis thing happened, they'd had trouble with him before. Resisting, fighting cops, he was high. As a matter of fact, check this out. And I forget when it was, but it was probably within a year of the whole, Minneapolis thing with George Floyd. George Floyd had overdosed on drugs, okay? He fought the cops, blah, 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 blah. They took him to a hospital and saved his life. Guess what? They couldn't save his life that time. But no, we want to act like George Floyd was this law-abiding, upstanding citizen who ran into the wrong cops. No, George Floyd was a criminal. That's all there was to it. We're trying to paint this kid Karmelo Anthony, and let me pull up another picture. This is what really, really cracks me up about this. This is funny as hell. Do you see these pictures? Do you see this picture here, guys? This is the picture floating around on nigga Twitter. This is the picture that's floating around on nigga Twitter. You guys see this? You guys see this picture? Look at that picture. We've got the white supremacists. Who hate niggers. And then we have upstanding, law-abiding citizen, Karmelo Anthony. He looks like a Division I. It looks like the photo of a Division I college football profile. Isn't it funny how they try to frame this? Number one. Number two, what makes us think that Karmelo Anthony has ever worn a suit in his life? Huh? Yeah, this was off Tariq Nasheed. Absolutely. This was Tariq Nasheed. But getting back to what I was saying a little bit earlier, and hang on, I think somebody may have pulled up. Hang on a second. I could have swore somebody, all right, never mind. I could have swore I heard it. But anyway. We do it live, guys. There it is. There we go. Pardon me. But like I was saying, just getting back to what I was saying, so knowing what we know about the so-called black community and their reactions to perceived injustices dealing with the cops or court, are black people going to destroy Frisco, Texas too? Huh? Are black people gonna, like, seriously? Because you know that, listen, this is what niggas do. When niggas don't get their way, they get emotional and they destroy shit. Because what? Emotional men are dangerous men. And I've got the criminal fucking record to prove it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm this bastion of reasonable. No, man. I was right there too with this kid. Yeah. Dr. B84 says, nigga looks like he's going to run for office. Right. You look at this picture. Honestly, you would think that this kid was a doctor, but guess what? They couldn't hide all of the nigga in him, could they? You see this right here, y'all? You see this? Look at this. See, couldn't hide all that. Couldn't hide all that. Couldn't hide the nigga in him. Goody. Couldn't hide that nigga. No, you couldn't. No, there it is. There it is. So yeah, they put him in a suit he's never worn in his life, but yeah, they forgot to Photoshop this part out. They forgot to Photoshop that part out. See, that's what gives him away. That's what gives him away as the typical emotional nigga. Yeah, right. All right, let's continue. Let's continue with the breakdown here. I do apologize. Give me a second. There we go. All right. Let's continue. I thought there was somebody up there.
Any well-behaved kid with manners that had respect of adults.
Yeah, King Life says DS Donovan has seen what AI can do. Yeah, dude, you want to know how good AI is? There are people on the internet. There are people on the internet who actually believe. Oh, now that was definitely somebody. There are people on the internet who absolutely believe that Devin has a kid. Devin has a kid. Dude, there's court documents and everything to back that up. But what people don't realize is that Devin's ex-husband, who is an absolute bum, by the way, he's literally a magician with Photoshop. He can make anything look real. Not only was he good at Photoshop, he was good at web development. See, this is why, Devin and her husband were sort of a power couple. And listen, you guys know I talk about Devin's, her abilities on the internet. Her ex-husband was almost as good as she was. So again, this is what it comes down to. We're trying to make this kid look like he's some, college scholar. Fuck out of here. Give me a break with that. Let's continue.
Once George Zimmerman approached him, whether he's right or wrong, as a child, this is an adult. You get off the phone with that fat-ass girlfriend you trying to fuck. You call your dad and say, hey, Dad, it's an adult around here to just stop me. He says he's calling the police. Rather than doing that, he had an attitude because...
Laura Sylvester says, Donovan, you're a nigga too. First of all, Laura, I don't know what a nigga is. Second of all, if you're trying to call me a nigga, you might want to ask. You might want to ask the black community what they think of your boy Donovan Sharp. Right? You might want to ask your boy You might want to ask them what they think of your boy Donovan Sharp. Dude, the black community doesn't claim me. They don't claim me. So yeah, nice try.
As young black males in this country, we have an authority problem because we're walking around angry, displaced from our father's issues, but we resent our mothers.
Let's go.
That's true.
So we're a ticking time bomb. And Trayvon Martin could fight. So that's why I say you be careful approaching some of these young kids. What a 13-year-old would kick a 40-year-old's ass.
That's true.
And that's what happened in that situation. He underestimated this kid, and he was looking for trouble, but by law, he was right. And he was judged by his peers. So we can't say nothing once you're judged by your peers.
There you go. We can't say nothing once you are judged by your peers. Now, there are still people who believe that George Zimmerman should have gotten jail time or whatever. Nope, George Zimmerman acted in self-defense. He was getting the brakes beat off of him.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing? You think he's
Young Hero says Tariq would call Don a tether. I have no idea what a tether is. I really don't.
Calf ass go, well, no, that boy going
Carmelo
to jail.
Anthony's going to go to jail.
He's going to jail. Yes, he is.
Listen.
Yes, he is.
You cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
Bingo. There you go. Why are you bringing a weapon to school, gentlemen? Why would you bring a weapon to school? So he's already broken one law.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because if you are afraid the day before, you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teacher know. So when y'all...
Black Samurai says, Karmelo will be free in a few weeks. Wait, hold on. Are you telling us this? Or is this wishful thinking? Black Samurai, I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance to come up because you've been a long time supporter of mine. You've been a long time supporter of mine, and you really, really have dug in on this. So I am no longer going to allow you to disagree in the chat. Okay? If you're going to listen, I'll allow you to disagree in the chat. I'll allow you to disagree in the chat, Black Samurai, if you pull up. Okay? If you pull up. If you don't pull up within the next minute and a half, Black Samurai, you are fucking gone. You are fucking gone. Pull the fuck up. Because you've been in here, you've been in my chat talking shit all week long. And I've been lenient with you because I don't give a fuck where you are. I don't give a shit, Black Samurai. Dude, if you're at your office right now, fucking go outside and get on your goddamn phone. That's not my problem. That is not my problem, bruh. And now you've got 54 seconds. Now you've got 54 seconds to pull up. Now he says he's in the office. Listen. I have no problem with anybody who disagrees, but you're not going to do it in the chat. You're going to do it. We're going to do it face to face. There you go.
Y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So where's the documentation to say this is self-defense?
Bingo. Yeah, the only documentation that says it was self-defense was Karmelo Anthony claiming that Austin Metcalf put hands on him. Laura Sylvester says, that boy is a hero. Yin, yin, yin on that white boy chest. Okay. Yin, yin, yin on that. I have no idea what that means. MLD says, Laura, are you white? Let me explain something to you, MLD. Roughly 178% of my haters are niggas. They are. Anybody who comes in here and says that that Karmelo Anthony is a hero for stabbing some kid, you know they're low IQ. You know they're low IQ. They're just, they're saying that to try. No, dude, whatever. They're just looking for attention. There you go. Come on. Yeah, he's a hero. Yeah. But yeah, Charleston White just made a very, 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 very good point. He said documentation beats conversation. Documentation beats conversation. If this wasn't premeditated, then why are you sitting in the opposing team's tent? Right? People like to say, well, he was bullied. Okay. Why would you go into the tent of your bully? If you were afraid, I think somebody said this in the chat, if you were so afraid for yourself, why did you go into that tent? I know why he went into that tent. He was looking for trouble. That's why. He was looking for trouble. That's why. Guys, you guys know I talk about my criminal history all the time. The last thing I was arrested for, the last felony I was arrested for, aggravated assault with these hands. Guys, aggravated assault with these hands. Okay? That situation was 100% my fault. I could have easily put the pizza in. I could have easily put, I can hear somebody's pulling up. Hang on, PLG, I'll get to you in a minute. I could have just gotten into the car with my pizza and put it in the passenger seat. But no, I wanted to go through the passenger door. Why did I want to go through the passenger door? Was because there was somebody standing there and I was looking for trouble. I was looking for a reason to get pissed off and beat the shit out of somebody. And if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it. Karmelo Anthony was never afraid of this guy. Okay, we have people in here talking about, he was 6'3" and 250 pounds and he was an athlete. Evidently, Karmelo wasn't that intimidated because he willfully and wantonly went and sat in the opposing team's tent, knowing who was in there. That doesn't sound like the actions of someone who was afraid or bullied. You guys understand that, right? All right. There we are. Okay. Oh. All right. Looks like we've got us a bit of a three-way going on here. Phoenix Lake Games. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, Donovan. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Let's try to make this short because I got Black Samurai on the line and I want to hear what he has to say.
Okay. I was going to be 3 minutes anyway. Today I know I said I was planning to jump on stream with you today. I can't today because
I got your text.
A lot of people called out, and also there was a plane crash where I worked.
Oh wow, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah, in the area, not like directly like where I worked, but it's in the neighboring area. So there's a lot of chaos going on, a lot of traffic and stuff,
I
and
get
a
it.
lot of police and like that. It's in the Boca area where I work, around the Glades area. So it's
Okay.
a lot of chaos. So I'm probably not going to get back home until like 10 tonight.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine. So what's on your mind? Because I want to get to Black Samurai here. I want to hear what this dude has
Sure.
to say.
Sure. Yeah. All everything that's happening, all these niggas that are coming in and commenting on this. I just have to say this, and this is something that has really been bothering me for a while. I think here's the thing. I totally agree with you that niggas are the most racist people in the United States. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Straight up.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Their racism is so volatile. I think that they just look for any excuse, however minuscule it is, to attack a white person. That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Like literally, they hate white people so much that however minuscule the reason is, that like say, oh God, he touched me or anything like that. Oh, he looked at me a certain way, or he's laughing at me a certain way.
Crazy.
And
Right. Stupid.
They just use that as an excuse to react violently towards.
There you go. That's exactly right. He disrespected me, or he violated some principle, or whatever. It's nigga culture, and this is the thing. I don't know Carmelo Anthony, but from all accounts, he seemed like I'm not going to say he was a good kid or a bad kid, but he didn't really seem like a troublemaker. He got caught up in the culture, and I'll pull those receipts as well.
Yeah, he got caught up in the culture. It was obviously the culture. Like, here's the thing, like, a nigga is like created in response to the environment, what he or she consumes and everything like that.
Right.
It's not just a family situation. Like here's the thing, like people like, I think you said this a while ago. Nigga is not a skin color; it's a behavior.
Yes, absolutely. And this is what Hotep Goldstein was talking about the other day. He's like, well, there's nigga culture in the trailer park. No, there's not. The only nigga culture in trailer parks are where niggas are. Yes, look, the thing is this, and even if this had happened in the trailer park, those say what you want about white trash and this and that and a third, they don't condone this type of behavior, okay? If Bobby Joe had stabbed someone, Laquan Travius, do you think rednecks would be flying their Confederate flags? Yeah, we got one of theirs. No, they'd be like, hey, strap that kid to the electric chair and throw the switch. We are the only, and I explained this I forgot who I explained this. Oh, it was to Cali West. We're the only group of people in the world, this is American black people, who condone criminal activity. It's insane.
Yeah, we don't like. Well, I don't want to say we, because I don't include myself in nigga culture at all.
Hell no.
But for the sake of argument, I say we. We don't hold us as a community accountable for doing deplorable shit. And here's the thing, like, black people they fear prosperity, and yet they embrace degeneracy as if it's something to be proud of.
Yeah,
like
man.
Everything they do, everything that we've watched, everything that you talk about, everything that we've witnessed, it's like there's nothing but degeneracy. And here's the thing, I noticed that somebody referred to you as a tether. Here's the thing.
Yeah, what is a
Myron
tether?
Gets called that all the time. A tether is basically a black person, whether it's a black man or a woman who doesn't subscribe to nigger culture and distance themselves away from it. Basically, tether is a black man or woman who holds black niggas accountable for their deplorable behavior or anything like that.
Well,
you know how it is. Like,
yeah, I guess I'm a tether.
Myron says, like, he's not one of us. He's just an Arab, dude. If anything, Myron is the cold hard definition of black. His family hails from Sudan.
He is literally the definition of African American.
Exactly. Like, the dude is literally Sudanese. Like, how much black can you get?
How much blacker can you get? The dude is his parents literally came from the Sudan.
Yeah. But apparently, Myron's not black. Fresh is not black. Donovan Sharp's not black. Andrew Tate's not black.
I don't care. Fortunately for me, I really don't give a damn what niggas think. Like, I stopped giving a damn what niggas think a long time ago. So,
Oh yeah, and one more thing. Before I go, don't worry, it's
Yep.
gonna take a quick second.
Okay.
I remember 2 days ago you were having this revelation about how black women, dark skinned black women perceive light skinned black women.
Yeah,
Yes, they
it's
do.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm here to co-sign whoever made that claim in the chat 2 days ago. But yes, it's true. It's true. But like dark skinned women, here's the thing: light skinned black skinned women tend to be more. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it is, but they tend to be more feminine. They tend to
Okay.
be more docile. They tend to be a lot more in shape and a lot more attractive. And dark-skinned black women, most of the time, don't measure up to what light-skinned black women do. And here's the thing: they're a lot more accomplished in terms of getting men that they want and everything like that. So yeah, dark-skinned black women tend to be jealous of them and hate them and everything like that. But yes,
Damn,
it's
I
co-sign
guess
it.
I'm
Yeah,
not as up.
dark-skinned black women in general tend to hate light-skinned black women. Yes.
Wow. All right. Well, I swear to God, just when you think you've heard it all about niggas, man, you hear something else. PLG, I think appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna get to Black Samurai, and I guess we can react to that a little bit later on.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good day, man.
Appreciate that. Before I bring on Black Samurai, Brandon M with the $5. Actually, there was another super chat I missed. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Phoenix he says, I pulled up, but I don't know if it's working. Yeah, it is. It's definitely working. Maybe I haven't closed the window in a while, so I don't really. Brandon M with the $5 super chat says, what would happen if someone on the Flyers went and sat on the bench of the Rangers during a game? You're going to get confronted, if not thrown out. Exactly. Why? Again, dude, I believe Karmelo Anthony was looking for trouble. I believe he was absolutely looking for trouble. Why else would he bring a knife? Think about it. Why else would he bring a knife to school and then purposefully go and sit in the opposing team's tent? All right, so let me bring on. All right, so Black Samurai doesn't have his camera on. That's perfectly fine. All right, Black Samurai. So why do you? So what are your? Oops, I didn't want to go bingo. So what are your thoughts on this whole Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony situation here?
Well, thanks for having me on, Donovan.
Yep.
And once again, I'm not coming from, I'm coming from a base where there's evidence where I was speaking from, but
Okay.
I don't want to, to me, I've been a fan for a while. You've been there when the Kevin Samuels situation happened, so I'm always be a writer for you. But in this case, I'm hearing things from, I got people who's in Texas, and they're saying by the letter of the law with Texas stand your ground laws, this is a clear case because there's been other cases of stand your ground laws that he might technically be free. That I'm just hearing things. I'm not saying that as a definite truth or whatnot. I'm just saying that that's what people are saying. And number two, there's evidence that people have video evidence, but they're not trying to let that out yet. I guess they're doing investigations, but that, sort of like supports Carmelo's side, but I'm not trying to get in the back and forth. That's just what people I'm hearing. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. What do you think? What's your opinion? Do you think Carmelo Anthony was right to stab Austin Metcalf and kill him?
No, I don't agree with that. I grew up in rough neighborhoods. I went to rough schools. I had to fight. I was on the football team, so I fought my fair fights.
Sure.
What it should have been just a fair fight. He might have been scared or something like that. And, I understand some people are not fighters. So he probably might have just got scared in that situation and did what he did.
Okay, so that makes sense. He might have got scared in that situation, but that doesn't explain why he brought a knife to school. So here's the thing, Black Samurai. This kid brought a knife to school, okay? He purposefully went and sat in the opposing team's tent, okay? He is looking for trouble at that point. He is going to have to take some accountability here. He put himself in that situation. It's almost like if someone, like if I were to take one of my cars and I were to drive it into the hood, right? Reno has one hood. It's out there by Peppermill. And I were to leave the door and I roll down all the windows, left the keys in the car. That doesn't mean that the person that jacks my car is still not guilty. No, he is guilty of grand theft auto, but I have to take some accountability because I went into a neighborhood where that kind of stuff is known to happen. How do you explain him bringing a knife to school and then going and sitting in the opposing team's tent, because if he were that afraid, if he were that intimidated, he would not have been there in the first place.
Right. The evidence that I have gotten is, to me,
I don't buy none of this. No. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Black Samurai. We're not going to talk about things that nobody knows about. Okay, because what appears to be happening is people are all of a sudden coming up. Well, I know things that you don't know. No. You don't know that there is a video, and I'm sure you've got people and this and that and a third. All of this is going to come out eventually. But if we're going to have a good faith discussion about this, then we need to talk about the things that we do know. You don't know that there is a video. You don't know that. You don't know that there is additional evidence. There is a reason why there is no bond for Karmelo Anthony.
Right. They're holding him for a reason, but to me, he shouldn't have brought a weapon onto a school grounds. That's clearly, a violation. He should take accountability for that. But to me, it's like they said it was raining and he wanted to get out the rain. That's why he was there and he got confronted.
So now it was raining. So when the video is there, so if it were raining, why are we having a track meet in the rain? Do you see where we're going with this, Black Samurai? All of these are excuses. All of these are excuses. And then of course, Karmelo had the ready-made excuse. I stabbed him because he put hands on me. What are you doing in that tent with a weapon in the first place?
Right. There's some the people that if you want to ask me, I think he should have just fought it out. He shouldn't have brought a weapon into the situation. But
yes, and I agree with you. I agree with you. But that was not his intent. His intent was to get into a confrontation to give himself an excuse to use the knife. Because if he really did want it to be a fair fight, he would not have had a weapon.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like you said, the culture, and I do agree with you, Donovan. The culture is the problem because I think he wanted to prove a point. Or something like that. Did act like he was
like
getting
tough. Street cred.
To get into a confrontation or whatever like that. To me, I would have backed up. Like, hey, if you don't want me to sit here, I'll go sit somewhere else. I ain't trying to get in no trouble. But I think you said the culture might have been something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this before I let you go here. How do you see this thing? How do you see this thing playing out?
To me, it might. To me, it's like he might, in the end, serve a little jail time. But the letter of the law supports the grounds that he took. So it to me is like I think he might serve a little jail time with some probation in the end. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, well, just understand that the specific law, and let me pull this up here. The specific law, as far as the whole stand your ground thing, give me a second because I'm going to pull it up right here. So, according to the Texas self-defense law, it says, even so, the use of deadly force must be proportionate to the threat. Okay, the only way Karmelo Anthony could argue that this truly was self-defense is if he can produce evidence where somebody said, you know what, Austin Metcalf pulled out a knife or Austin Metcalf pulled out a gun, whatever the case may be. Karmelo Anthony's response, like I said yesterday, was not commiserate with what Austin Metcalf allegedly did. If somebody yells at you, that doesn't mean you stab him. If somebody grabs your bag, that doesn't mean you stab him, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and again, I believe, just based on what we've heard and seen on the police report, I believe that Karmelo Anthony was looking for trouble. I believe that he was looking for trouble, and if that was the case, then well, it doesn't really matter whether it was the case or not. But I believe he's gonna be convicted. There is a world, and I'll get into this a little bit later, Black Samurai. There is a world where I can see Karmelo Anthony being acquitted, but it's gonna take a series of unfortunate events.
It's a lot of groups. There's a lot of social groups and political groups getting into this, and it's being politicized. That's the dangerous thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. And that could sway the judge and sway the, either way. So we don't know until they go to trial and all the evidence are chipping out. But I was just saying, but what the people were saying on, in Texas that we're looking into it and live in Frisco, live in the area, the Fort Worth, Dallas area. I was just like, because I got cousins that stay down there, and I was just like, well, what's going on? So that's what I was just hearing, and I don't know if it's true or not. That's what That's the information I got.
I would, and I'm not trying to give you like advice here because God knows I'm not a legal expert by any stretch of the imagination. But sometimes you really do have to consider the source of these new revelations, right? People who want Carmelo Anthony to be found not guilty are saying, yeah, well, Austin Metcalf attacked him. Austin Metcalf had a knife. Austin Metcalf bullied him. It was 3-on-1. It was 5-on-1. They were all bigger than he was. I think they're purposefully trying to muddy the waters for exactly the same reason that there are people trying to politicize this. They want to taint the jury pool in some way, shape, or form to get the verdict that they want. I'll give you the last word.
Well, I agree with you, Donovan, in that words. That's why it's dangerous to like I say, get outside opinion or other people's opinion, and instead of looking at the facts. And I would agree, like say for instance, if he do a little bit of jail time and probation, he will have to take accountability of what he did.
Sure.
Instead of saying, hey, oh, I was attacked. You should have known what you were doing in that situation. You should have been aware and smart enough as a black man in these situations. Even though he come from a middle class family, I grew up, in worse situations. So
sure. Yeah.
he should have been knowledgeable of that. So, and I think if he was, he wouldn't even been there and probably also wouldn't be dead right now. So,
okay, fair enough. All right. Well,
but thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
and let
of
me,
course. You represented
opinion,
yourself well. And yeah, listen, if you want to disagree in the chat, I'm good to go with that. And thanks for your support over the years, man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Very good. All right. Let me bring up. This is my man, Jamie. Jamie, what is going on, my brother? Hold up. Let me get you up in here for whatever reason. There we go. Got you. Jamie, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, Mr. Sharp?
I'm doing good. Hold on. Before we do anything, I need you to give me your email address again because, hold on. Because as soon as you gave it to me, I erased it on a website. So give me your email again.
So my email is jamiestar020@gmail.com.
So that is JAMIESTAR020@gmail.com.
That is correct.
Okay, got it. And I'm not erasing it this time. Okay, so what's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I just had to call into your show or hit the link. You know what I mean? To add my 2 cents in.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Because this has been a hot topic for like the last couple of weeks, and to get my perspective on this subject, on this idiot, this moron, this savage.
Yep.
He deserves exactly what he has coming to him.
That's right.
He stabbed this kid, and the story I was told is based on what you was having the conversation with the other gentleman prior to me coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a tent of the opposing team. He had no business there. It was illegal for him to carry a weapon. And the guys that approached him, he was not bullying him.
No.
He was trying to tell him, sir, you were not supposed to be here. You had to move. And he probably might have used a little bit of tiny force to try to remove him. But your response was to pull out a knife and you stabbed this man through the chest.
Right. Yeah.
And now his brother is traumatized because he had to hold his brother in his hands and watch his brother die.
Can you imagine? And they're identical twins. Can you just for a second, can you imagine what it would be like to be holding yourself and watching the genetic carbon copy of yourself dying in front of you? Like I don't think I can even wrap my mind around that.
To me, if that was me in that situation, that bad predicament, it would be horrifying. It'd be traumatized, and I would need a lot of therapy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's what he's gonna need, though. But I'm gonna tell you a statistic. Did you know that black people commit more crimes against white people than the other way around?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
It's not even close.
Oh, I did not know that. Imagine that.
Black people, if you look at this, is a statistical fact.
Okay.
Black people commit more crimes against white people than white people commit against black people.
Wow.
That is a statistical fact. You can look this up. Okay. It's unbelievable. So how do black people talk about being victims of racism when you guys are committing crimes against other race of people more than they do to you? You commit crimes against Asians in New York and Chicago.
All the time.
You commit crimes against white people. You commit crimes against each other.
There you go. There you go, man.
That's why other race of people don't like you. They are afraid of you.
There you go.
And it's going to come to a point where white people, they're going to get sick of being victims of crime at the hands of black people. That goes for the women. And
Jamie, we're already there, fam. We're already there, bro.
They're going to start carrying concealed weapons, and they're going to start shooting these, excuse my language, shooting these motherfuckers.
Real talk. Real talk. And then when that happens, there's going to be riots out in the street, right? Riots out in the street. White person kills unarmed black man for seemingly no reason at all.
Yeah, and then I'm going to tell you this story. I'm going to keep it short. I know you got other people that want to talk to you. There was a story I was watching yesterday on YouTube about this woman in a laundromat. It was a black woman, right? Long story short, she had left her stuff in the wash machine, and she was supposed to be on the premises, but she ended up leaving. I don't know how long she was gone for. So a white woman, I guess that was the only wash machine available for her to use.
Oh, wow.
So she made upon herself, the white lady took her belongings out of the wash machine and put it in the dryer so that she could put her clothes or her garments or whatever in the wash machine, right?
Oh, okay.
Then she took herself out the dryer and was nice enough to fold them up. She didn't take anything or whatever. So the sister, she came in later on and she noticed that her stuff was not in the wash machine or in the dryer. And the lady confessed that I took your stuff out of the wash machine, put in the dryer. I took them out the dryer and I folded your stuff up nice and neat. Nothing was taken. Everything is clean, nice and neat.
There you go.
But the woman had a problem with it, and she confronted her, and she threatened to beat up this white woman. Now, this black woman is probably like in her late 20s, early mid-30s, maybe 40 years old.
Right.
And this white lady is a heavy-set woman, probably like in her 60s, right? Now, why would you be in a young 30-something-year-old woman putting your hands on a 60-year-old woman that's only to be your mother?
Unbelievable, man.
It is unbelievable. You could have handled the situation better by having a civilized discussion about the issue. Now, I want to understand in the sister's defense that you had a problem with her touching your personal belongings. But if you're supposed to be on the premises, or if you're going to leave the premises, you shouldn't have been gone that long.
Right.
You had to be considerate that other people have to use the wash and the dryer, especially that's the only wash and the dryer available for you to use. So long story short, she threatened to put hands on the lady, and then she called her a racial slur. You white bitch, you white bitch that.
Cracker this or whatever.
Called you the N-word, you would have took that as being racist. So the white lady felt threatened, and she notified the authorities.
There you go.
The police came up there. They got her side of the story, got her police statement. Then they went inside the laundromat to get the black lady's statement. She was being very rude. She was being uncooperative, and she was being disrespectful to the cops. And then she tried to lie on the white lady and said the white lady threatened her. And the white lady said she worked there. No, the white lady never threatened you. She never said she was an employee there. She told you specifically what she did. She was doing you a favor. You should have been there watching your clothes, putting your clothes, take your clothes out of the wash machine, put them in the dryer so nobody won't touch your clothes.
Right.
But long story short, the police asked if she want to press charges. At first she said no, but the police told the white lady, if you don't press charges, we're going to have to leave. And you got to deal with this woman yourself. So she decided, I'm going to press charges. So when they came back, they apprehended the lady. She tried to damn near resist
Tried
arrest.
to fight the cops. Of course she did.
They had to use not excessive force. What's the other one that's called? It's not excessive force.
There's excessive force and then there's deadly force, I think.
No,
Maybe.
It wasn't deadly or excessive. It's another one. Somebody, the coworker was telling me. I forgot what it's called.
Okay.
But they had to use. They had to be a little bit more aggressive to detain her, and apprehend her.
Yeah.
And she ended up going out to jail. And I said, yeah, that's what the fuck she get.
There you go. There you go.
So,
and it's funny. So once again, this black woman used, and it's almost like black people are using, well, they put hands on me or they called me the N-word to justify committing these crimes against white people. And it sounds like she would, JP says unjust forced. Is that what it is? Unjust forced?
That might be it, but it's not called excessive force.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's probably somewhere in between, but it's, a non-lethal force, whatever the case may be. Okay.
But black goes for the men and the women because we hold them accountable. They do it to themselves. That's why I don't feel the prison system is filled with black men. I bet you there are more black women in prison than any other race of women, white women, Asian, Hispanic,
real talk.
like that, because they do it to themselves, though.
Absolutely, dude. Black people make up most of the population in all prisons, and this is with both sexes. This is not an accident.
They commit the most crimes. Black men are 6% or 7% of the population. They commit almost every crime category they commit. And black women, I know the fact that they point the finger at white women do it too. White women do it too. And I say this all the time. Why every time we call out black women for the crimes that they commit and their bad behavior, they always point the finger at white women do it too? Well, let's use an example. No, let me say this though, Mr. Sharp. I gotta say this.
Okay.
So let's say white women do it too. Does that mean you should do it? Are you a follower? If
right.
10 white women decide to jump off a bridge to their death, does that mean you should do it?
There it is.
Do you value your life?
There it is.
If white women do engage in degenerate and bad behavior, does that mean you should do it? No.
Of course not. What happened to Jamie? Jamie, you there? Oh, damn, we lost him. Yeah, listen. There you go. I got him. No, I totally agree.
Be black women of virtue. Something.
Yes.
Can you get what I'm saying?
No, I understand completely what you're saying.
We're not talking about white women. We talking about you.
Y'all.
You should be doing it. At the end of the day, white women are white men's problems. Black women are black men's problems. We have to deal with this shit. And I tell black men of good character, moral character, all the time. We got to start holding these black women accountable for their bad behavior when they're in the wrong.
Real shit, man. And that's what I try to do with the Hard R podcast, every weekday. Jamie, listen, spitting that hot fire as usual, man. Call in anytime, brother.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Absolutely. You too, man. Jamie Herring, listen, man, dropping that knowledge, dropping that absolute knowledge. So I saw a couple of chats, a couple of comments. This is the first one by Steve-O. Steve-O says, that white boy should, oh God, oh my God, oh Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about the grammar issues. That white boy should have never touched him or put hands on him. Simple, keep your hands to yourself. Now he's in the upper room and y'all mad. That right there, see? That's the mentality. That's the mentality that's going to get Carmelo Anthony life in prison. Look, Steve-O, listen. This is it. This is it right here. Steve-O is literally verifying what we've been talking about here all week. The so-called black community is being destroyed by this degenerative culture. He should have never. So you're telling me if somebody puts hands on you, you just automatically stab them? Come on, man. And then of course he's celebrating. Steve-O also says, anybody who touches somebody or their property, you can't dictate how they react. LMAOO. It's no handbook to combat in the streets. It's a cold world. Don't blame me. I didn't make it. Again, guys, Steve-O is literally verifying all of the stereotypes. He's literally verifying all of the stereotypes. You should know that that's how it is out in these streets. No, the world is not the hood, my guy. Okay? The world is not the ghetto, okay? We got niggas trying to bring the ghetto. Guys, there's a reason why they call it gentrification. They call it gentrification so they don't have to call it deniggification. They don't call it, really what gentrification is, guys, is getting niggas out of the city. That's what it is. But they had to give it a nice name so that people don't protest. No, it's deniggification. Ain't got nothing to do with gentrifying anything. No, they want niggas up out of here. They want niggas out of here. Guys, the world is tired of y'all. The world is tired of niggas, man. It ain't just here in America. Niggas ruin everything. And there's the pervasive saying, this is why we can't have nice things. It's because of niggas. It's because of niggas. Yeah, Snowdini says so many lifers think that way. Yeah, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and you shouldn't. Hey, listen, man. Eric Rocha, bringing a little bit of humor to this, says, stabbed in the heart, and Carmelo's to blame, baby. He gives blacks a bad name. We can all find a little humor, right? We can all find a little humor, right? I don't know. Appreciate Jamie coming up and dropping that hot fire. Praetorian Guard is in the house. Says society is a contract of being civil towards one another. When that goes out the window, it's bedlam. Right. Just because somebody says or does something you don't like does not give you permission to kill them. That's all there is to it. And you want to know something, guys? Before we continue with this Charleston White video, you want to know what I think, guys? You want to know what I think about niggas? I think niggas like the fact that I think they love it when a black person gets away with killing a white person. They love that shit. They absolutely love it. They absolutely love it. Steve-O is in here yucking it up, and now he's in the upper room, whatever the case may be. We have niggas in here actually calling Karmelo Anthony a hero and actively like, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha, Austin Metcalf fucked around and found out. This is what we are dealing with, guys. These are the kinds of people that give us a bad name. No pun intended. Right, this is the streets, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Yeah, it's very, very sad. Rack 90 says, yeah, King Von couldn't keep his hands to himself, and now he's gone, but they wanted justice for his killer. Exactly. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here. Unbelievable. Yeah, listen. I think it's, honestly, I think it's laughably pathetic that we actually have people who are laughing about the fact that this kid is dead. They are literally making fun and poking fun at this. That's niggas, y'all. That's niggas. Guys, this is nigga culture. They're dancing and celebrating in the streets. One of ours got one of them. And we're going to make sure he gets away with it by raising now over $350,000. Colonel says, yeah, good point, Don. They think getting away with a crime is a positive thing. Right. Like honestly, think about this, guys. I swear to God, the black community is such a shit show. We openly celebrated when Kobe Bryant died. And why did black women celebrate when Kobe Bryant died? Well, because Kobe didn't wife up a nigga bitch. He didn't. He just didn't. He didn't want to wife up a sister. And so they all went in on him. When Kevin Samuels died, they danced on his grave too. The black community is the only community that is irreverent enough to dance on the grave of a man who actually wanted to make positive change in the community. Kevin Samuels loved the black community. That's why he was so hard on the black community. But being hard on the black community also means telling the truth about the black community. And if we know anything about the so-called black community, it is allergic to truth. They're allergic to truth. Anytime anybody, guys like myself, Meyer and Gaines, Charleston White, anytime guys like us get on here and we point out the degeneracy of the black culture, we're ousted. We're called racist. We're called coons, house niggers, all that good stuff. And it's funny because people come in here and they literally, guys, look at this. They literally verify the mindset. Steve-O is in here agreeing with what Karmelo Anthony did. And I don't believe Steve-O's being a troll. I think Steve-O really feels this way. He should have never touched him or put hands on him, right? And that's what niggas are doing. What niggas are doing is they're now attacking white people and saying, well, he called me the N-word. Do you guys remember a few years back when Myles Garrett took his helmet and swung it? What was it? I forgot who it was. It was one of the backup quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He took his helmet and swung it at that dude. Dude, Myles Garrett is a physical specimen. If he had connected with, I think Mason Rudolph might have been him, right? If he had actually connected with Mason Rudolph's head, he would have badly injured him. What was Myles Garrett's reason for swinging his helmet at Mason Rudolph? He called me a nigger. That's why. He called me the N-word, so that gave me justification to swing my helmet in the direction of his head. When black people commit crimes against white people, violent crimes against white people, he put hands on me. He touched me. He called me the N-word. There's always an excuse. Always an excuse. Let me read some of these chats here before we continue. Diabolical Man says, grammarians, where you at? Yeah, right. There it is. Snowdemi said, so many lifers think that way. Yeah, there you go. Dude, how many niggas are in prison that have that same mindset? Bad Rasta says, damn, I should have pulled up. I got a story that just happened the other day. Oh, okay. Okay. J-Pot says, parents moved us out of the hood when I was 14. Not a race issue. It's a hood culture issue. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I forget who it was the other day who said it in a super chat. It might have been. Either way, he said, listen, I was born in Cleveland. My dad got us the fuck up out of there because he didn't want us to be victims. Don DeMarco dad. Praetorian Guard says, people with that mentality end up getting ventilated by their own friends. That's exactly right. Kyle 2020 says, black version of skinheads, except it's if skinheads were white culture instead of what niggas cause white culture of being projection. Very good comment. Very good comment. Praetorian Guard says, they celebrated when Kevin Samuels died. He actually tried to help marriages. Exactly. Like, dude, the so-called black community, it is the only... the black community is allergic to prosperity. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Wow, Kyle 2020 says, I say this all the time. Kevin Samuels is black Jesus. He died for the sins of all black kind. Damn, you might be right. Machiavelli says, that's why the world hates niggas. I'm trying to tell you. Then we got people in the chat talking about, well, he was 6'2" and the other guy was 5'9". Well, then if he were so afraid, why did he go into the tent in the first place? Malcolm Magnificent is trying to both sides the issue here. He says, just because someone sits somewhere you don't like doesn't give you the right to put your hands on him or her. This case is an unfortunate tragedy, but personal responsibility works both ways. See, no, wrong. No. Yeah, no. Austin Metcalf didn't, whatever Austin Metcalf did or didn't do does not raise to the level of being stabbed to death. Austin Metcalf was where he was supposed to be. He was doing what he thought was right. He didn't threaten anybody. And again, even if he put hands on him trying to remove him, does that justify the kid, breaking out a knife and stabbing him in the heart? Listen, you can try to both sides the issue all you want to. This is 100% Carmelo Anthony's fault. Carmelo Anthony walked into the opposing team's tent. Carmelo Anthony brought a knife to school. Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf. He stabbed Austin Metcalf. And this is why he is in jail and that's why there's no bond. Or at least $1 million bond or something like that. That's how it goes. Bad Rasta with the $10 super chat says, truth in black culture, strong black men who share truths or adhere to rules set by society are condemned by niggas had first-hand experience recently. I'd like to hear all about it, man. I really, really would. Praetorian Guard says it's been programmed by the white liberal. That's why. Absolutely. Chris Collins says, thank you for all you've done for men. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. All right, looks like we've got someone else who wants to pull up. So let me. Okay, Alexander. All right, Alexander, you are. Oh wait, let me bring you up. Hang on a second. All right, Alexander, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, what you got for me today?
I don't have a disagreement, Dominic, but I remember you saying something about like when it comes to race, a lot of people are blue pill, like they red pill when it comes to women. Yep. When it comes to race, they blue pill. And
yeah, man.
What it came to mind was like MTR, O'Shea Du Jackson, and
there you go.
the Black Authority. And I remember that thing with Pearl about when they brought on Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, NF. We call him Voldemort.
I remember he said something to one of Pearl, like I had a brain fart. One of Pearl producers or whatever said something about him dating like a Latino woman or something.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell by the way that they act that, like, and especially, Black Authority, is
Jason Black.
It's really ridiculous, like how like a lot of our community, Black people, they are very like blue pill when it comes to race.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. I was actually, and I'm sure you saw the back and forth that I had with Callie West. That was actually the first time that I had ever thought about being blue pill versus red pill as far as race is concerned. Because Callie West and I, we are aligned on everything with regards to relationships, right? And the reason why the red pill exists is because it is a common sense approach to a problem. Women are no longer marriage-minded. They're no longer marriage material, blah, 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 blah. And so by telling each other the truth and being honest with ourselves about what women's intentions really are when they say or do certain things, unfortunately, a lot of black men in particular, they can't use the same lens when it comes to their own race. It's almost like, hey, when we were all blue-pilled, we were blinded by the vagina. Black people, especially in the so-called black community, they are blinded by the color of their skin. They're still blue-pilled when it comes to race. It's incredible. I'll give you the last word.
Yes, sir. And especially when it comes to my family, and it's very difficult to talk to my mom about this.
Of course.
She gets highly emotional, and I'm trying to bring facts to her. She don't want to hear it. Especially, being on social media, especially Facebook, you see a lot of, especially in our community, a lot of people that I went to school with, and a lot of my friends, they very blue pill when it comes to, majority of them women, especially when it comes to our race as black people and holding ourselves accountable. Like, they literally sitting there saying that, it was self-defense. And I'm like saying to myself, man. I'm like, how is it self-defense? Like, that literally makes no sense. Because
it makes no sense. And the thing is people who are out here screaming self-defense, deep down they know it's not self-defense. But that's the reason they're telling themselves to justify Karmelo Anthony's actions, which is the root problem, one of the root causes of the nigga community. Alexander, I appreciate you coming up, man. Call back anytime.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So shout out to Alexander. He actually shares my middle name. He shares my middle name. You guys know my name is Edwin Alexander Hopkins. This is a really good comment. Machiavelli says, a scared person doesn't provoke someone by telling them, touch me and see what happens, and punch me and see what happens. There you go. Guys, dude, this kid is going to prison. This kid is going to prison. I know a lot of niggas in the chat are hoping against all hope that this kid gets acquitted. It is not happening. He is 254% going to prison. This kid is going to pay for what he did. Because if you're being bullied, or if you're being, if you're intimidated, or if you're scared, he says, touch me and see what happens. Did Austin Metcalf then punch him in the face? No. Austin Metcalf grabbed his backpack and moved it. Karmelo Anthony then proceeded to go to his backpack, take out the knife, and stab Austin Metcalf. Sad but true. Reverend Brown with the $10 super chat says, black women are the worst things since crocodiles. Yeah, I would agree. Okay, let's continue with the breakdown.
It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Now, I don't believe in the premeditation of it. I don't think Karmelo Anthony, I don't know. Maybe, I don't think, listen, I'm not Karmelo Anthony, nor do I want to be, but I don't think he woke up thinking, I'm going to kill somebody today. I don't think that's what happened. I think he put himself in a bad situation and shit got out of hand. Rack90 says, Donovan, do you think niggas playing victim to avoid the pressure of living up to their ancestor sacrifice? Example, slavery and civil rights movement. I mean, they are going backwards now. Bro, I'm going to tell you what, man. Martin Luther King Martin Luther King Jr. would roll over in his grave. He would roll over in his grave if he knew what the hell was happening right now. It is as though, and it's funny because now we got black women disqualifying Martin Luther King because he was smashing snowbuddies on the side. The only race of people that does this. I think I've got somebody else who has pulled up. Oh, Phantom 313. Is that you? Yes. Phantom, are you there? Okay, Phantom 3 and 3. I couldn't hear or see you. But that's a very, very good. That's a very good comment there by Machiavelli. If he was really afraid, he wouldn't provoke someone by telling him, "Touch me and watch what happens." No, you don't want them to touch you because you're afraid. No, just like King Life said. Karmelo Anthony knew that he had the ultimate equalizer, a weapon. All right, let's continue with the breakdown.
Anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it said a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, right. Man, you got to go to jail. You got to go. So when is it all right to kill the bully? I don't give a fuck what the bully did.
There you go.
He don't have a right to die.
No.
Look, that's the thing. That's the thing. What niggas are essentially saying is that Austin Metcalf deserved to die. Austin Metcalf didn't deserve to lose his life that day. This kid, you guys are telling me that because he allegedly moved his bag or quote unquote put hands on Karmelo Anthony, that justified Karmelo Anthony using deadly force, right? But then when a nigga takes a swing at a cop and hits the cop, and then the cop takes out his weapon and handles his business, the cops don't get the self-defense. The cops don't get the self-defense excuse, then do they? Yeah, nice try. Diabolical Man says the reason why it's premeditated is because he knew by going into that tent, someone would eventually come up to him and get him out of there. He knew and he wanted to use it. Oh my God. That is... God damn, man. I had not even thought about that, man. Dude. And guys, that, oh my God. Can you imagine? Like, I can't, look, premeditated, man. That is, oof. Look, murder is murder. I got it. He's going to go to prison, but fuck, man. I had never considered, I don't think he woke up. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. You're right. He knew, listen, Anthony knew that by going into that tent, he knew that someone was going to say something to him. He knew someone was going to say something to him. He was looking for a confrontation. He was looking for trouble, man. Mason Jones says, what's up, Don? Tell Stefan we ain't mad. Niggas are because he is going away for good. You love him so much, put money on his books. Well, apparently there are people putting money on his books. I was actually going to wait to show this later, but I guess now is as good a time as any. Karmelo Anthony at this point has raised over $357,000 for his defense. Their goal is $450,000. Okay? He has raised $357,000, over $357,000, or his representatives have. What percentage of people who have donated to this defense fund, what percentage of people do you think are black? See, this is what tells you, guys, this right here, this $357,637, this is what tells you that nigga culture is alive and well. To be able to raise in excess of $350,000, that's incredible. That means these people are telling us that they endorse what he did. They endorse what he did. Now, on the flip side, let's say if Karmelo Anthony were my son. If Karmelo Anthony were my son, guys, and it would be very, very difficult to do something like that. And I know it's a father's instinct to protect his kids and this and that and the third. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I really don't. So yeah, Karmelo Anthony's parents are doing what they're supposed to do. They're trying to, they're supposed to try to raise money for his defense because he is going to need it. He is absolutely going to need. He's going to need all $450,000. He's going to need all $450,000. Really, what the $450 is for is to keep his ass out of the chair. Keep his ass up out of the chair. That's what that is. That's what that is. This kid is guilty. He is guilty as homemade sin. Let's continue.
Man, you weak man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies and this won't happen.
There you go.
We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's going to always be one bird to come in and take the food from the... This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the kids how to deal with them. Bullies build character. You go to work.
Straight up. But this is assuming that Austin Metcalf was a bully. Austin Metcalf was not a bully. Stop it. Flower of Life Collective says this is OJ Trial 2.0. Yeah, I believe it. A black person has killed a white person and niggas want him to walk free.
It's going to be a bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution. Everything don't have to end in violence. But when you come from the black culture, everything is disputed in violence.
There it is. There it is, gentlemen. Everything is disputed in violence. Everything ends in violence. Guys, this is exactly what I've been talking about for the past week. This is nigga culture. This is nigga culture. Steve-O said it himself. He said it himself. Oh, he fucked around and found out. That's why that's why the white boy shouldn't have touched him. He fucked around and found out. Yeah, this is nigga culture. If you disrespect a black person or whatever the case may be, in their minds, it's okay for them to use deadly force. It's okay for them to use deadly force.
Yeah. That is the problem, though. It's
the culture.
That's the culture. That's how they solve. When you have a serious issue, they don't even contemplate trying to talk it out.
We teach a no snitching rule, right? So our kids are walking around with these mafia rules, codes, and ethics of the streets that's held over children about no snitching. So now I have to take a weapon because I don't want to be a snitch and kill another kid. It's a simple solution. Go tell the teacher. Tell your parents.
Yeah. There it is. Go tell the teacher, tell the parents. Guys, this is the way it's supposed to be done. If Austin Metcalf were really bullying Carmelo Anthony, somebody would have heard about it. Carmelo's parents would have heard about it. Austin Metcalf's parents would have heard about it. And I'll tell you this. If Austin Metcalf was a bully, and let's keep it real, we know he fucking wasn't. Okay, but if he was, Austin's dad would have handled that. Austin's dad is going to handle that. King Life member for 57 months. My God. King Life has been a member for almost 5 years. Jesus says, what if Karmelo went to their tent to steal? If he went to their tent to steal, dude, shame on him. Because he committed a much more egregious crime. Holy moly. Yep, Snowdemi says prison rules in public. There you go. Prison rules in public. This is why people don't want niggas around. They don't want y'all around anymore. Steve-O, they don't want you around. They don't want y'all around no more. Black Samurai says hood politics. Absolutely. This is what happens when you bring hood politics into the real world. People die and end up going to prison. Like, seriously, honestly, the black culture is now responsible for 2 lives being lost. Another 2 lives being lost. This is a culture problem. Okay? Carmelo Anthony was not on some white people shit when he stabbed Austin Metcalf to death.
Simple solution.
I know, but
tell, motherfucker, tell.
But what sounds crazy, I know it sounds so easy, but the thing is, even for the criminal, the guy that would commit an assault, if you stop him before he does the assault, then they don't have to go to jail as long. You know what I mean?
Man, this is not that kid's first time grabbing a weapon. Yeah. Because most kids who grab a weapon from the first time don't kill people.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, wow. I had never thought about that. I ain't never thought about that. Most kids that bring a weapon to school, most kids that get caught with a weapon to school, don't get caught with it the first time. They don't get caught with it the very first time. A lot of them don't get caught. They usually only get caught when they use it. This was not Carmelo Anthony's maiden voyage with a weapon in his backpack. I believe this kid had bad intentions, and like King Life said, he might have wanted to steal, and the shit just got crazy. It just got out of hand, and he did some dumb shit, according to hood rules.
Of course, you bring a gun a couple times before you shoot it.
And if I was being bullied and I'm in self-defense, even though he have an undeveloped brain and he's impulsive, why run?
Thank you. There you go.
Why get rid of the knife?
There you go.
You're showing criminal intent.
Oh, my God. Criminal intent. Criminal intent. I said it before and I'll say it again, guys. Okay? Carmelo Anthony, Melo was looking for trouble. He was looking for trouble. That's why he had the knife. This is exactly why he had the knife, guys. He was looking for trouble, and he found it. He knew exactly what to do to put himself in that situation. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to sit in the opposing team's tent. I know someone is going to come over and confront me. Now I have a reason to stab somebody. Now I have a reason to stab somebody. And he ran. Exactly.
Throw the knife away where they can't find. He wasn't found with the knife in his pocket. He wasn't sitting down with the knife in his hand, ready to explain what happened.
Oh my God. There it is. There it is. Guys, oh wow. This is bad for Karmelo Anthony. Because, do you want to know? Would you guys like to know? Would you guys like to know when they found someone with the weapon, ready to explain exactly what happened? Yeah, George Zimmerman did. George Zimmerman didn't take his gun and throw it in the bushes. George Zimmerman didn't run. Nah, George Zimmerman sat right there and said, this is what happened. This is what happened. After George Zimmerman rightfully defended himself, meaning his life was in danger, did he hide the gun?
Nope.
Did he try to run away and get away?
Nope.
And the reason why he didn't try to get away is because that was self-defense. Karmelo Anthony, like Charleston White said, showed criminal intent, guys. He showed criminal intent. You brought a knife to school, which is illegal in and of itself. You went under the tent of the opposite school, knowing that a confrontation was imminent. Stabs Austin Metcalf to death, runs away, throws the knife in the bushes, or tries to hide the weapon. That shows criminal intent. Because if Karmelo Anthony truly believed that his life was in danger and that he truly believed that his measure of self-defense were justified, he'd have hung out right there on the bleachers. Hey, guys, I'm up here. Here's the knife. Here's what happened. Nah, that's not what happened. This nigga stabbed this kid to death, then ran and tried to throw away the knife. That shows that you know you did something wrong. That knows that you did something wrong. Baker 19 says George even called the police before. Exactly. That right there shows criminal intent. Karmelo Anthony knew he fucked up. That's why he ran. That's why he ditched the knife. That's why he told the cops, he put hands on me. This is going to be self-defense. He knew this. This is why he did what he did. DJ Beefit with the $10 super chat says, it's crazy how Austin's dad is out here defending his son loud and proud. But Carmelo's pops said, quote, he made a mistake and has to deal with the consequences. That kind of response says a lot. Yeah. There you go, man. There you go. Bad Rasta says Charleston White just beat his self-defense case and he's not a lawyer. Guys, this is why he is going to prison, guys. This is why he's going. There are many reasons why he's going to prison, but this is the main one. If Karmelo Anthony truly believed that his life was in danger and that the deadly force that he used against Austin Metcalf was justified, he wouldn't have ran. He'd have stayed right there. No, stabbed him, ran, tried to ditch the knife. That is criminal intent, gentlemen. That is criminal intent. Let's continue.
Yeah. So, but do you think that he had some sort of predisposition to wanting to murder? Is that what you're saying?
No. Children don't wake up to kill because they don't have the brain capacity, the brain development to say, I want somebody dead. Children are impulsive.
Yep.
This was a tragic incident where a kid who don't have emotional intelligence acted impulsively because he comes from a culture that propagates violence. Mm-hmm. Every day, all day, kill, die, nigga, shoot, kill. You can't take this in and you lack training. You lack morals. You have to have a foundation of a value system to listen to this type of shit all day long, and you don't have no emotional intelligence where you've been taught to say, man, when you get angry, think.
Yeah. There you go, man. There you go.
Take a deep breath.
Hang on a second. Looks like somebody may have pulled. Oh, that's Phantom 3 and 3. Hang on, Phantom 3 and 3. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let me go to Phantom 313. All right, Phantom, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's going on, big brother? Long time no hear, man.
Yeah, man. What's going on, brother?
This is Marcus from New Jersey, man.
Yes, sir. So what's going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Miss you, man. I missed the call-in show, man. I had to download this the StreamYard. I'm not used to this, the video exchange and everything like that. But it's all
Blog
good.
Talk
I
Radio,
love it, man.
Blog
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Blog Talk Radio no longer exists, so that's the way I do it.
Understandable. But it's good hearing from you, man.
Absolutely.
But I totally agree with you. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna take a deep breath, so I won't be long-winded.
Okay.
It's premeditated. He's probably most likely gonna be tried as an adult.
Yep.
I believe he's 17 years old, right?
He's 17. They will try him as an adult. They will absolutely try him as an adult.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a couple of years like that other gentleman said that was that live in Texas. They're going to throw the book at him, man.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna,
yep. Yeah, you bring a knife to school, like Charleston White saying you said it's illegal. So you already know he had that in his mind maybe months and months from if he was so-called being bullied. So he finally did what he did and fled. Yeah, I mean, they're going to throw the book at him. I don't see any way he can wiggle his way out of this.
I don't think so. I don't think so either, man. I really don't. I think the only way there is a world where Karmelo Anthony could get away with this. Okay, his defense team, if they were smart, his defense team would do exactly what OJ's team did. Make it about everything but the crime, okay? OJ's team made it all about Mark Furman. They made it all about race. Their entire defense was basically LA County owes us an acquittal because of the acquittal of those 4 police officers who beat the shit out of Rodney King. And that's that is exactly what happened. The only way Karmelo Anthony wins this case, and I don't think he is. I think this is as open and shut as I can imagine, but the only conceivable chance that they have to win this case is if they muck it up like Johnny Cochran did.
Yeah, I mean, even if that does happen, I don't see the kid having any bruises, any scars, being marked up, scuffed up by the kid that passed away, and God bless his soul and his family's soul. I mean, it sucks, man. An eye for an eye. The guy should be convicted. Too bad. I don't know if they're going to give him, the death penalty or anything like that, but to take another kid life, man, at 17 years old is crazy, man. And it really doesn't matter the race. I mean, we are talking about the kid was white.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's sad because it's a kid, man. He can't even live his adulthood, mess up, learn from his mistakes, have a family. This guy, he could still be alive, be in jail for maybe 25 to 30 years, maybe get off in 10, 15, 20, maybe 10, 15 years off of good behavior and still live his life and start all over again and maybe have a family. The sad thing about it is, like with the black community, you do have these nigglets out here, and we have talked about this years ago. Yep. I stay away from them. The only 2 things they wake up for is confrontation and violence. And you can't even look at them. You can't even look at them without them trying to say something to you. You can't even open the door without them saying thank you. You can't even give your money to the cashier register or even over the phone with a receptionist without saying thank you. They're not going to oblige by saying you're welcome.
Yep.
They just have a lot of self-hate with themselves. So with all that self-hate they have with themselves, they don't know how to love other people.
Oh, wow. I had not even thought about that.
And I understand the kid went to the wrong tent, which I feel as though, like we all talked about, is premeditated.
Okay.
There's no difference than me being. I'm not a gang member. It's like me being a gang member and going to a rival's neighborhood that's a gang member. You already know I'm asking for trouble.
Right. Exactly. If you there you go, and somebody actually used that used a hockey reference. I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan, regrettably right now. But if a Flyers let's use football. Let's say Saquon Barkley goes over and sits on the Dallas Cowboys bench. You don't think Saquon knows that DeMarcus Lawrence, Dak Prescott, or whoever, Trayvon Diggs, you don't think they're not going to roll up on him and be like, hey, bro, you got to get the fuck up out of here. The only reason why you would go behind enemy lines is if you are looking for trouble. And they can miss me with this he was intimidated stuff. Because if you were really scared and or / intimidated by this bully, the words, touch me and watch what happens, would have never escaped his mouth.
And we have seen that live in sports. I think it was, I forgot what team it was in basketball where the opposite player went into the huddle, and the players looking around like, what's going on? Pushed him out the way.
Yes. Oh, dude, this happens in basketball and football.
Yeah, but there was no excessive force, no knife being pulled out, no one being stabbed, no one being shot. But
they said, get the fuck up out of here. They're moving him out of there.
Exactly. Go back to your own team. We're enemies on the court, but after the court, we could shake it up, dab it up, exchange jerseys, and be friends.
There you
This
go.
wasn't the case.
No, not even
You know,
close.
I'm not gonna hold you up. There's a movie I watched on YouTube, and it kind of like mirrors this situation that happened. I think it happened in Texas as well. The movie happened in Texas. A middle class family, they're black. The kid was being bullied by a white kid. I think he was trying to get a scholarship to go to basketball, but he ended up going to like the summer camp. But long story short, him and his cousin and two other friends, the two other friends lived in a poverty neighborhood. Okay. They all came together and said, we got to kill this kid.
Wow.
The white kid. And they wasn't even bullying. They wasn't even bullying the guy that shot him.
Oh my God, dude, that is
this kind of mirrors what's going on with this situation. Whereas you have a black family, a black kid with a black family that live in a middle class neighborhood, and you still want to resort in nigga ways.
It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And this is the thing: Karmelo Anthony is not a hood nigga. Okay, he didn't come from the hood. He was raised in Frisco, Texas, and had white friends. But was still, even though he grew up around white people in a predominantly white area, nigga culture still got to him.
And that's the sad thing about it. Like, your life is good, but apparently your life is not that good if you want to go out here and commit a heinous crime. And
it's crazy, man.
And, you know, instead of you try to fight the bully, just stay away from the bully or try to talk to a teacher, tell a teacher this guy is bullying me. You didn't have to resort to this violence to try to kill a so-called bully. I don't even think the man was a bully. It's just called tough love. Y'all gonna probably end up being friends. Well, we don't know that now because the man is the young man is no longer here.
Right.
Maybe 5-10 years, they'll see each other's faces. Hey man, it was nothing but love. You know, it was just tough love. I respected you. That's what kids do. I was bullied. I didn't bully people. I was bullied. I'm pretty sure people have been bullied. I fought. You win some, you lose some, but you never had to pull out a weapon to to end someone else's life.
No, I totally agree. Sorry about that. I totally agree with that, man. Once again, and the thing is that the so-called black community, I don't know why do you think, and I'll let you get out of here on this. Why do you think the black community is so quick to defend this kid? We got people in here talking about it's self-defense. We actually even have people in here acting like they're happy that this kid is dead, like making fun of the fact that a nigga killed a white boy. Why do you think it's like this, man?
I think they look at it as I'm gonna go back. People say, 400 years ago, the white man killed all the black people, and they got away with it. So now that a black person killed a white person, everything is like, we can rejoice and celebrate. But let's flip it real quick. What if the kid Karmelo went to the rival's tent and stabbed a black kid?
And see, that's the thing. Something like that, not to that degree, but this is why we know it's a culture problem, Phantom, because we saw not 2 weeks before that happened, we saw the two girls in the 4x100. The black girl hit the other black girl over the head with a baton.
And the reason why I said that, because if Karmelo went over and stabbed the black kid in the tent, the first thing the black community would have said was he had to kill that kid, man.
Right. Of course, exactly.
Because he's black. That's why.
Because
but let it be a white person or another minority. Just chuck it under the rug. The only thing we could say, he was bullied, so that's justified. No, it's not justified. It wouldn't be no difference. The black kid that got stabbed by Karmelo, they say, that was justified, but they were like, no, it's not justified. He killed another black man.
Killed another black man. There you go. Kid. It's unbelievable, and it's. I find it.
And you know what? I'm sorry to cut you off, big brother. The nigga community, they want to be lost.
Yeah, that's the
thing. They could walk either that left fork of the road, that right fork of the road. They rather choose that path where it's nothing but all fog.
Unbelievable, man. And it's funny, just like you were talking about, 400 years ago, black people, this and that and the third. Yo, check this out, man. We don't listen. Is there racism in America? Absolutely. But I'm in America. I make a great living just talking. I do not face anywhere near the same kind of racism that our ancestors did. And people that talk about that, you never picked cotton. You were never sprayed with water hoses. You were never involved in sit-ins. You were never told to sit at the back of the bus. If anything, black people are coddled and handled with kid gloves because other races of people are afraid to get canceled. Because if they say some one thing, it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think what black people, specifically, I think what niggas are doing is it's almost like they're using crimes against white people as sort of a quasi reparations. Well, they've been doing this to us for hundreds or thousands of years, so now it's their turn. Now it's our get back. You didn't exist back then, and neither did they. This has nothing to do with you or them. This is a bad decision made by you. I'll give you the last word.
And they abuse it. And they abuse it. And that's the sad thing about it. And you know, another thing that really that gets me hot, not in that type of way, but like boils me up, is when you can see like anything happens, whereas a white woman divorce a black man, and then you read the chats, and the first thing the nigga community say, men and women, you should have got yourself a black woman. But look what's going on right now with that guy Iman Shumpert, and that lady Tiana, whatever Tiana. He divorced him and took everything.
Yep,
took everything from him.
Same shit. They talk about, the white girl is the most dangerous person to... No. The most dangerous people to black men are black women.
So it's basically like, oh, well, you know, don't let that white woman divorce you and take everything. Let that black woman do it. There's no difference than a white cop killing a black man that's either unarmed or whatever the case may be. And the BLM and you got all these nigglets communities saying, no, white man, don't why you do that? That's our job. We do that for you.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense. And when we come to racism, I believe that the black people are the most racist culture out here. But you know what? They're not just racist against other cultures. They're racist against their own people.
Yeah, I just heard about this.
Dark skin.
Yeah, I just heard about these the dark-skinned black women not liking light-skinned black women. Like, what the fuck?
So this is basically just self-hate within overall.
Man. Unbelievable, man. Listen, man, thanks for chiming in, brother. Call in anytime, man. It's good to talk to you.
No problem, man. Congratulations on everything that you accomplished, big brother, man. I love you, man. Straight from the heart, man. Good hearing from you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Man. All right, will do, man. Phantom 313, aka Marcus from New Jersey. Yeah, he the reason why I don't use Blog Talk Radio anymore is because there is no more Blog Talk Radio. It doesn't exist anymore. Let's finish this reaction to Charleston White here.
So he was anticipating this to happen. That's why he had the knife, and we had this outcome. He didn't want to kill nobody.
I don't think he wanted to kill anybody. He almost kind of manifested it, though, just by his culture, him around it, having the knife. But accidentally,
I got a nephew that goes to school out there.
Mm-hmm. At Frisco?
And not to paint this kid in a bad image, this is why I used to tell my son, because I got a house full of guns.
Uh-oh.
And I saw my son on Instagram one time with a blunt in his mouth. He was 14 years old with my guns. I told him I better not ever see you because I'm trying to prepare this kid to go to the military.
Look at this.
Man, take that shit down. Because that imagery, you can't take it back. So,
that imagery, you can't take it back. And what imagery is Charleston White talking about? I will show you the imagery Charleston White was talking about. Yep. That's right, y'all. There it is. There it is. Hold on. Let me remove the let me remove my watermarks. There we go. There you go. That right there. See, this is Karmelo Anthony. That's Karmelo Anthony, y'all. Okay? The world wants you to think that this is who Karmelo Anthony is. No, that's not who Karmelo Anthony is. This nigga he hasn't worn a suit a day in his life. Nope, that's who he is. Right there, guys. That is the image right there that is going to get him. I'm telling you, this is as open and shut as it gets. And here's another thing. Here's another thing, too. Do you guys know who Oscar Pistorius is? You guys ever heard of Oscar Pistorius? He's the Paralympian. They call him the Blade Runner, right? Well, he shot and killed his girlfriend, Rena Steenkamp, right? And Pistorius's legal team wanted everyone to think, well, I thought it was a burglar. I thought it was a burglar, blah, 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 blah. There was one video where Oscar Pistorius had this gun and he called it the zombie stopper, and it absolutely shattered the watermelon. That is what ended up sinking Oscar Pistorius. That is what sank Oscar Pistorius. Just like this, among other things, is going to sink Karmelo Anthony. That's going to sink Karmelo Anthony. And Charleston White just got done talking about the fact that his 14-year-old son, he's got a house full of guns, his 14-year-old son with a bunch of his guns and a blunt in his hands. And look, check this out. Let's go back. Because Karmelo Anthony's parents should have done what Charleston White did. Listen again.
He didn't want to kill nobody.
I don't think he wanted to kill anybody. He almost kind of manifested it, though, just by his culture, him around it, having
the culture. DJ Beefit with the $5 super chat says the majority of Karmelo supporter, racist black women and emotional feminized black women who's unaware of accountability. There you go. There you go. Absolutely. Listen to this.
And the knife.
Well,
accidentally.
I got a nephew that goes to school out there.
Mm-hmm. At Frisco?
And not to paint this kid in a bad image, this is why I used to tell my son, because I got a house full of guns. Mm-hmm. And I saw my son on Instagram one time with a blunt in his mouth. He was 14 years old with my guns. I told him I better not ever see you because I'm trying to prepare this kid to go to the military.
There you go. That's it. That's it. When Charleston saw this. This is what black parents need to do, guys. This is what black parents need to do. Okay? But this is what black parents are not doing. See, he lived in Frisco, Texas. He's around some white people, blah, 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 blah. And oh, by the way, it looks like the person next to him is actually a white boy. Looks like the person next to him is actually a white boy. So I'm going to go to the tweet where I saw this out, where I saw this. So this girl's name is Jennifer Coffindaffer. She says in this tweet where this picture came from, I had an opportunity to study Karmelo Anthony's most recent photos, and they say a lot. I worked gangs in Texas, she continues, for 6 years on the streets with the gang unit. That hand signal is used by the insane vice lords. The insane vice lords have operated in Texas. Their colors are red and black. Frisco is nice, but there are gangs everywhere. Most of these kids are in cliques and are quote, wannabe gangsters, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. Was Anthony a member? I don't know for certain without further investigation, but it is very possible his school will have an idea. LE will certainly look at this. There are gang enhancements if this was related in any way to proving oneself in a gang. Karmelo Anthony says, I'm not alleged, I did it. That is a very bold statement. Does he want the cred? Now, I don't know how accurate that is. Did he want the street cred? But that's not out of the realm of possibility. But here's the thing, guys. It doesn't matter why he did it. It doesn't matter why he did it. It matters that he did it. And I'm going to tell you what, if they find out that this kid had anything to do with these insane vice lords, dude, he is going to be cooked. He's going to be cooked even more medium or even more well done than he already is. Mikey's on with the $5 super chat. Says, hopefully, more people / streamers bringing awareness to, quote, culture will help change the behavior of it / them. You want to know something, guys? You want to know something? And I guess D-Weeze looks like, see, and D-Weeze, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, man. D-Weeze is another guy who's been in here for a while, but D-Weeze is not red-pilled when it comes to, when it comes to race. D-Weeze is red-pilled when it comes to women, absolutely, but you are not red-pilled when it comes to race. You've been defending this kid's behavior from the start. And like it or not, Karmelo Anthony is guilty of first-degree murder. He is going to be found guilty of first-degree murder. I don't care how much money, this GoFundMe thing raises. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Most of that $450K, when they get to that mark, and I believe that most of that $450K is pretty much just going to try to keep him out of the chair. Pretty much. That's what they want him to do. They want to keep him out of the chair. Food reviews. I have never seen nor heard of you before. So because I haven't seen or heard of you before, I'm going to need you to be on camera if I'm going to bring you up. So I'm sorry. Like if you're behind an avatar and I've never seen you in my chat before, I have to assume that you have nefarious intentions. So unless I see you on camera, I'm not bringing you up. Let's continue.
You don't, man, take that shit down because that imagery, you can't take it back. So
you can't take back that imagery. You can't take it back.
Here he is. He got a video. He got a photograph, whether it's a real gun or not. That image is gonna destroy him in court.
That image is gonna destroy him in court. And this is the image. This is the image that he's talking about. That is absolutely going to destroy him in court, guys. No question about it.
It is. They're going to.
You better not go to Collin County, where it's a predominantly white area, where these law-abiding, upstanding citizens have a heart for this white kid who was killed with a twin brother, a mother and a father. Their pictures with guns show a hunting image.
Thank you, hunting image. There you go.
Pictures show a gangster image, gang sign. And you guys want to play the race card in Collin County? Chill out, black people. Let's make this about right or wrong, because you don't want to go to Collin County playing race. You'll lose.
Real talk. Real talk. Panda Trucker with the $5 super chat says if Karmelo plays his cards right, he might get conjugal visits from the booty juice biatch. Oh my god. Booty juice, booty juice, booty juice. Booty juice. Wow. All right, guys. Now. Oh, and by the way, guys. By the way, right after the show, I will be reacting to the very first episode on Netflix's show Pop the Balloon Live. It aired yesterday. So it's going to be live on Thursdays, which means that I get to react to it on Fridays. So Fridays are going to be called Pop the Balloon Fridays. We've got free consultation Sundays. We've also got Pop the Balloon Fridays. That is going to happen right after the show. So right after TSR Live, I will be reacting to Pop the Balloon Live, and I will do it on Rumble. So stay tuned for that. All right. What I also want to do is I've heard that. So I know that Cali West talked about this, and so I want to take a little bit of time. I want to take a little bit of time and react to it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to turn up the speed a little bit. Because I don't want to get dinged. Very good. So I'm going to do that as well as I'm going to go ahead and put the watermarks back up just to make sure that I stay out of YouTube trouble. There we go. All right, so, oh, wait a minute. Sorry, guys. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, guys. So let us react to the title of this is Karmelo Anthony a criminal or a victim of circumstance? The answer.
Yep.
The answer is yes. Karmelo Anthony is a criminal and he is a victim of circumstance. He is a victim of circumstance. And I'm not trying to make Karmelo Anthony the victim in this particular situation, but guys, he is. He is a victim. He is another victim. The black community has indirectly claimed another victim that has gone out and carried out this nigga shit. This kid had his whole life ahead of him. 17 years old, and his life is already over. Casual Germ says, I just finished the first episode. I'm disappointed. Okay, well, we'll see. Jose says, no spoilers, but the show is different. Yeah, I imagine it probably was. Oh, wait, is that somebody pulling up? Oh, here we go. Here is Slayeon. Oh, sorry about that. Hang on a second. All right, Slayeon. I think I remember you. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? I can't hear you. Here, let me unmute you. There you go.
Can you hear me, Don?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Don.
What's on your mind?
I have to say, like, I agree with you, but I disagree with you to a certain degree, and I'm not being disingenuous when I say this, right?
Okay, all right.
As a black community, we do this time and time again. We continue to propagate this certain behavior where it's like, oh, if you get tested or someone makes you emotional, react. We have this reactive mindset that just tends to happen. I think people are jumping over the main case, and he killed somebody. Regardless of what conversation was had, regardless of what they talked about, touching your backpack, you murdered someone. You took someone's life. Take the black and white out of it.
Yeah.
You killed somebody.
Yeah.
And we can't even sit down and say that for a second, and we just keep going on these tangents, the black community, which I agree. Toxic, terrible, bad. I agree with you on that.
And I agree.
Yeah,
and I agree with you 100%. And we're actually guilty of it too. We're really doing the what OJ's team did is they made it everything. They made the OJ case about everything but the murder. At the end of the day, Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman were savagely murdered. But all Johnny Cochran and his team wanted to talk about was racist Mark Furman and, the racial division in LA and the racial history. I agree with you 100%, man. We're talking about all these tangents, but at the end of the day, a young man lost his life. A young man was murdered.
Exactly. And Donna, I hate to take up more time. It's terrible that this even happens and a conversation like this happens. Just today, I do construction. Just today at work, I'm working with a steward of mine, and we're doing something, and another trade walks in. Oh, I have to do something here. The steward's like, oh yeah, I'm working right now. Give us a second, we'll finish out. He's like, no, I'm moving. He takes our buckets, throws it out the way. Right? The steward says, what are you doing? He's like, shut the fuck up. Again, this goes without saying, this is a black guy. The steward's an older Italian man, probably 55, 60 years old, 4 years from retiring. Tells the guy, shut the fuck up. The guy's like, what'd you say to me? Shut the fuck up. Do you want to see me outside the fence at 3 o'clock? And it's like, whoa. And I'm just there. God. They're two men. They're having a conversation. I'm not going to jump in and defend one or the other, but I'm just shocked. I'm like,
how the fuck did that escalate so quickly?
That shouldn't have escalated to that point. Right. And I'm like, it's the nigga culture that propagates this. And another guy on the site agreed, well, he talked to him a certain way or he felt like he said, I'm like, it doesn't matter what you felt or how, we're on a construction site. We're all like, it's ridiculous, Don. I'll let you go, but we gotta focus on the matter at hand. I think that's what black parents do. That's what black people do. They always focus on, oh, what if, and all these crazy scenarios and all the. It doesn't matter. Somebody died. Point blank. Period. Guys.
There you go. Totally agree. Yeah. How do you pronounce it? Is it Slayeon?
Yes, Slayeon. You got it right.
Oh wow. Okay, I got that right. Okay, very good. I usually don't nail those. Nail those the first time.
A couple years ago, you gave me advice on a girl I was seeing.
Oh God, I'm surprised I don't remember.
Do you remember? It was about Chantel, and I got her the iPhone, and she was being.
Oh yes! Oh my God! How did that? Oh my God! I remember that. How did that turn out?
It's a long story. That's for another stream. But yeah, we're not together anymore.
Okay, listen. I'm doing my free consultation Sunday. I want you to call in on Sunday and tell everybody about it.
All right, sounds good, man. Enjoy. Thank you for letting me in, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Slayeon, who's out here slaying it. Oh, we got Jamie Herring back up. Jamie Herring is back up for round 2. What's going on, brother? Unmute your. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I gotta unmute him. Oh, there you go. All right, go ahead.
Mr. Sharp, I just want to say one thing.
You got it.
I heard you say you wanted to have a topic about colorism and about dark-skinned black women hating on light-skinned women.
Yeah.
I would love for you to have that show with that topic, man. I got so many perspectives and opinions and thoughts about that.
Okay.
Please,
definitely.
Please do that show because that is a very important topic.
Okay.
This thing about dark-skinned women hating on light-skinned women within our community, though, I cannot stand it. So please have that show, man. Okay, with that topic.
Will do, dude. Will do 100%. I'm gonna shoot you an email because I have your email address now.
Say it again.
I said I'm gonna shoot you an email because I have your email address now.
Please do, man.
I will. Thanks, brother. Yeah, Jamie. You know what's interesting? I didn't realize. I had I knew about. I've heard rumblings of colorism here and there, but I didn't know that dark-skinned black women. Oh, by the way, shout out to Rack90 with the $10 Cash App. He says, great breakdown as usual. Shout out to Rack90 with the $10 Cash App. If you want to be like Rack90 and get a Don DeMarco, send your boy a Cash App. $Donovan Sharp, $Donovan Sharp, $Donovan Sharp. I will read them as quickly as I get them. I've got my iPad right here in front of me so I can see all of them. I can see all of the super chats. I can see all of the Cash Apps. I can see all of the Cash Apps when they come in. So again, shout out to Rack90 for the $10 Cash App, $Donovan Sharp. Okay, so let us react to Kelly West's.
And the left. I mean, and then we have the left. They're basically saying, well, no, it's not just he just decided to just stab somebody. This is probably self-defense. That's just basically the argument that's coming from both the sides. But with that being said, I might as well just show what the media had to say, just to kind of bring you up to speed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you the information that I know that I have, because there's a lot of nuance to what the media is saying, and even here's the thing. Like, I don't know if you believe this, but I do believe that there's always a little truth in the lie. So sometimes, they can always kind of tell you about the situation, but if you kind of let the situation.
Yeah, that's called propaganda, Mr. West. That's called propaganda. Propaganda is when they take falsehoods and they wrap them with very flimsy truths to make it more believable.
A little bit more and hear people talk, kind of realizing, some people are lying, or there's a little bit more nuance to what people just see up front.
Right. You're right.
Right. So let's see here. There must be something on about the news I can show you real quick, just to bring you up on speed.
And on the criminal investigation. Alex.
Hey guys, and I can tell you that enhanced secure presence was really obvious as soon as folks drove up to Lobo Stadium in Deep Elm. Spectators as well as student athletes had to undergo screening before they could even go in the front doors. There was a very visible police presence at Lobo.
Okay, be respectful, guys. Be respectful. Try to be respectful. Listen, everyone is entitled to their opinion. And I think the reason why Callie is getting a lot of hate is because he came into that discussion in bad faith. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. There are a lot of niggas. There are a lot of niggas who are coming into this discussion in bad faith. They're using bad faith arguments. Already, Callie has already said, well, based on the information I have, Callie doesn't have any more or less information than anybody else on the internet. Right? And that's what I was talking about with Black Samurai. He says, well, I have people down there. Okay, fine. But your people down there, it's not like they know something that we don't, right? Like, we might not know everything about this particular case, but guys, we know enough. Okay? This is exactly why Karmelo Anthony is sitting in jail on what I presume is a $1 million bond.
Stadium in Little Elm Monday, student athletes and spectators were met by security personnel as soon as they walked up to the front doors. They had to go through metal detectors and have their bags checked before being allowed inside the UIL track meet. Little Elm and Frisco police also provide